devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand. Call
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Such a gorgeous evening ahead of us. Thank you all for taking the time to join us, and this is going to be a good one. If you guys aren't didn't see the post on Instagram, didn't see the post in the community tab, and didn't see me talking about it, what's going on is regarding the Vanderstock case that the arguments were just heard at the Supreme Court the other day. Well, our boy MGB was physically there in person, and there are a lot of things that can't really translate when you listen to the arguments that were posed. Um, he was able to actually see the justices, see the body language, see all these things, and I think it's really important to kind of hear the story from the perspective of someone that was actually there. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Plus, you know, it's always a fun time with your boy MGB coming on DLD. Goodness gracious, excuse me. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And let's congratulate our boy DB, who was first in chat this evening. My man, let's get you. What do you want, a crisp high five or a fist bump, or what, you fist bump kind of guy? My guy, appreciate you. Let's go through and say what's up to all the channel members. Let's see, we got Blue Curtain Burner in the building. What's up, brother? Great to see you, channel member. Zanti Misfit fam, great to see you, also a channel member. Blue Curtain Burners, Anti-Misfit. Let's see who else we got. Eric Stockbridge, brother, great to see you, who also just said he just got his definition knives delivery. So what did he say? Hold on. I'll bring it back up. He said, just like you said it would be. It was gorgeous. It was great. It smelled great. Oh man, I love that. They do smell good, but that's another thing. So check them out, Definition Knives. Yeah, all Every single knife on there currently is under $100. They're actually all between 59 to $79, and they are of great quality. All right, let's go through. See Eric Stockbridge, Chenamemba, and all y'all have been great supporters as well, man. I appreciate y'all supporting DLD Hardware, supporting Definition Knives. You guys have been great, man. I appreciate you. DLD After Dark, just as you described, and you're right. They smell good with that Aegis oil. They do, bro. They do. It's kind of crazy, right? All right, let's see who else. All right, going through looking for channel members. Live Life, another channel member. Great to see you, brother. Appreciate you, my guy. Johnny Ba, another channel member. Great to see you. Great to see you. Mr. Gort, great to see you, brother. Also a channel member. Appreciate you. Let's see who else we got. Gord, Eric Stockbridge. Hey, there he is. T for Tejas, brother. Great to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Also a channel member. Johnny Ba, Johnny Ba. Hey, there he is. Kurt 24, the producer of the show. Don't let anybody know. My guy, man, Kurt. You know what? Hopefully yours came in today too. I'm hoping that they did. Let me know. I didn't. I may have missed you early. I did miss you earlier. My bad. They for some reason they keep your name blue. I'm like, bro, just why can't they all be green? That way I look for green, I find green. I got green. I get green. Right. Anyway, Kurt 24, the homie. I appreciate you. Hey, there we go. Definition Knives. Yes, sir. Let's see. We got Gord, Kurt 24, the producer of the show. Let's see, Eric Stockbridge, Johnny Ba, and let's see, Eric Stockbridge, Blue Curtain Burner, Kurt 24. There he is, Slim 223, brother. Great to see you. Also a channel member, Mike McClune, the Goon, also a channel member. Appreciate all you guys, man, for real. Let's see, Johnny Ba, Gord. We also got some honorable mentions here. We got G23 in the building. What's up, brother? Great to see you. We got Mr. James, who was very, in a very courteous way, reminding me that I was late. My apologies. Let's see who else we got. We got G23. Hold on. Did I see who I think I saw? Hold up. Where is he? I saw him. Fire Rider, brother. Great to see you. Great to see you. I knew, bro. I knew I saw him. Hold on. Where they at? Where the 2A boys at? I saw you. I saw you. Did I go that far down? Let's see, bro. Where did you? There you go. 2A boys. Great to see you. Hopefully that's Mr. Keith, 2A dad. Appreciate you. They went pretty viral. We're here. They went pretty viral, man. They had a picture of their youngest little youngin shooting an AR in 22. One of like the M&P ARs in 22. And man, it's so crazy how like some people look at this as such a great thing that I think it's very important to especially to children around that age when they're ready, right? Every kid's different, like them being psychologically ready, but everyone's like, well, at that size, what is she gonna hunt? Or do you expect her to take out a burglar? And how about she learns firearm safety in a house with firearms, right? How about that? How about we preserve life? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, come on. Anyway, great to see all y'all. Appreciate all you guys. And Ayo, Kurt 24, dropping marinegunbuilder.com. Look, guys, if you don't know, because every now and then we do have some new folks that join the channel. Let's be real. YouTube does not recommend my content to new people. They just don't do it. Typically, they don't do it typically. So if you're saying this is your first time here, I don't believe you. If you're going to maintain that position, then I would encourage you to stick around and maybe even earn you subscribing, maybe even commenting, coming around and chatting a little bit, hanging out. And also the people watching this the next day or the next day or the next day, do me a favor, drop a comment. I appreciate all y'all. Replay Mafia, the recapitulation syndication, drop a comment saying some of that witty stuff that you guys say. And now, because today was the first day that it was like really cold, right? It's starting to get cold. Y'all know, basically from like October to March, your boy's rocking. Hey, there we go. It's back. It's back. And it's so much more comfortable on my ears with these headphones. I'll be real. All right. So we're getting into it right now. If you don't know Marine Gun Builder, like, what are you doing? Where have you been? I don't know. But I'm hoping that you guys were able to enjoy some of his uh like historic content back in the day when we were all building 80s. If you weren't able to enjoy that content back in the day, then you know what? It's okay, because you can still get great OEM parts at marinegunbuilder.com. Let's go ahead and bring in your boy MGB himself. What's up, player?
Good evening, Patriots. How are you, sir? How's
I
everything?
wish I had the sound effects.
Yeah,
You know,
Freedom Protectors in the house. Got
freedom.
the whole crew here tonight on a Tuesday night.
Yes,
I
sir.
see. I see.
Yeah.
Although I got to tell you, if for those of you who don't know, October 4th, which was just last week, I got my channel permissions back after going through the YouTube re-education camp. So I do plan on stealing Kurt 24 for some production assistance as well, my friend.
Man, you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. He's made my life so much easier, man.
Yeah,
I
he's
kind of
the
just
man.
say that because he behind the scenes, he's always like, boom, just dropping all the links,
Yeah,
all
there
the
he goes right
everything.
there. That's what
Dude,
I mean.
he's
That's what
on
I
it,
mean.
man. He's on it. He
Yeah,
basically does like all the back end stuff. He's like, what did they used to say to that chick on Tim
yeah.
Pool? Whatever her name was, pushing the buttons. Like, yeah, like that. That's it. He's like
Yeah,
sitting there. I just picture him with like four screens, just like, all right, what do we got? We got to get this. We got to grab this link and drop
right,
this
right.
here.
He's all over the place. I know,
Dude,
I
he's
know.
working, man. I
I'm
appreciate
telling
that.
you. And talented. He's multitasker for sure.
Hey, just another Karen. Appreciate you. Just another Karen said, "This is only my second time here, and everyone needs a firearm.
Very
Love it,
true. Or
love it.
more.
Yes, yes, yeah. Everyone needs to at least carry one firearm, and you need to
Everyone
have
needs to build their own firearm.
yes, yes, and hopefully they don't have those pesky breakfast cereal numbers on them. Um,
Yeah.
well, for the people, let's just say if there may be folks out there that actually don't know who you are, take a second to just introduce yourself, let them know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you, especially now that your YouTube channel is back up and running.
I
You did a
know.
live stream,
I
dude. It
know.
was so great to see you live on
I
YouTube.
know.
When I saw the notification, it was like, boop, Marine Gun Builder is live on YouTube. I was like, what?
Right. The only thing is what kind of content do I do? Because it's not
The-
allowed. Even though they let me back after the re-education camp, I still can't post the things I want
I
to post.
know, I know. It's
So
like
I don't know.
we can basically post about talking. Like we
Yeah,
can talk
right.
long form conversations. That's it.
Right.
But
Right.
A&R brother, great to see you. A Patriot from Warsaw, what's up, brother? Great to see you. Everyone else in here, man, I appreciate all y'all. Yeah, it's crazy because like, what can we talk about? I had someone in here yesterday saying, I came here for, I think he said P80 news, right? And it's like, man, we haven't really talked about we talk about some things, right? Like
Yeah,
we actually did a long form show on verbally walking people through how to crank out a frame
we
with
did.
first
Yeah,
time
that was a
quality.
great stream. That was a
Yeah,
good stream. That
that
was
was
good. We have to do another one of those. That was a
yeah,
fun one.
that was good.
We had a lot of questions. Oh, I do have another new thing too.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Speaking of Kurt 24 and everybody there, I'm also back on X. Well, I'm back on Twitter now that it's X. I got back on that too.
Yep.
So please, it's MGB 1776.
Nice.
So please give me. It's new, and so there's only like 249
We gotta show some love.
subscribers to
Yeah.
it, compared to
Yeah.
the thousands we had before. But please, MGB 1776, you can hit me up over there. I've been trolling all of the federal agencies pretty good, like you know how I
Nice.
do, and creating my wonderful memes to poke fun at their
Ooh,
hypocrisy. So
bro. The meme that you just dropped. Ooh,
yeah, you like that one, huh? That was a
man,
good
that
one.
if you
Yeah,
don't see that meme and if it doesn't just hit you in the gut like ooh,
yeah,
that's so
yeah.
it's one of those things where I was gonna go explain the meme, but maybe I'll have to show it on here.
Well,
Um
yeah, yeah. We're gonna talk about it tonight too. I'm sure it'll come up because we're gonna be talking about
yeah.
Vanderstock tonight, right? We'll be
Yes,
talking
yes.
about the court case that we waited years to get here, and it finally came. It's finally done.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go back to what I've been saying since the very beginning of this. Yes, thank you, Kurt. This has all been temporary pain for a long-term win, and
Yeah.
the defense is over, and now it's time for offense. It's time for 1,000% offensive now that all of that is over. So
Yeah.
I know that there's a ton of chatter out there about Vanderstock. So I mean, let's talk about it. But I'm going to throw this out to everybody here. You've got questions, ask.
Yeah.
Don't just comment. Ask questions about the case, about anything really, because so much has happened over the last couple of years, and
Yeah.
I think that, well, you know this, and I know a lot of the core folks here know this, but I really made it a point to be a historian and document so much stuff along the way,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can kind of get organized and keep it cataloged
Yeah.
of all the
Dude,
things that happen, right?
it's crazy, and shout out ADX 920. Hell yeah, appreciate that. I'm glad you like it, and all y'all that are getting your orders from Definition Knives. I would love to hear the feedback on what your thoughts are. But here's an interesting thing. So, working roughly in that industry, I talk to so many different people all the time, right? And I cannot tell you how many people I've talked to, and every single person gives me a different answer about what they believe the current status of frames are, and
Yeah,
frames and receivers and jigs, and everyone is giving a different answer. So the ATF has done, excuse me, the GATF has really done a great job of confusing the hell out of everyone to where we don't know what's okay, and then it is okay, then it's not okay, but it's only okay in this condition, but then it's not okay in this condition because there's an injunction, there's injunctive relief, or there's a stay, then an injunctive relief, and then a stay, and then they're okay, then they're not okay, and it's like, man,
yeah.
people are just basically abandoning the industry, and it's been crazy. But before we jump too far into it, I took the mic from you for a moment. My bad. Do a quick introduction. Let everyone know who you are. Who you were, who you are, and how they can find you and all that stuff
Sure. You just Google Marine Gun Builder. You'll probably go to the domestic extremist site when you do so.
immediately. Yeah.
MVE's in the house.
Yeah.
Old school builder, educator, chief instructor at Freedom Crew University. So if you want to
Hey.
learn to build firearms, that's the place to go. All of the greatest content out there, and really one of the only places left
Yeah.
for you to do it that's unsuppressed.
Yeah.
So been around a long time here, been through the grind, been through all of the suppression, censorship. But, listen, we keep fighting, we keep pulling through. Now I think the pendulum has swung. And like I said, we're ready to go on offensive and bring a new market, bring the industry back. This industry has been crushed
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
censorship, through lying, through legal, through lawfare,
Mhm.
through everything imaginable they have thrown at this industry. And we have to also be honest. They have done a lot of damage here to a lot of people.
For sure.
One of the things, and I know we'll talk about it, but one of the things they were touted openly right in front of the justices was, we shut down 43 out of 45 of the big companies. Like,
Yep.
that's hundreds and thousands of employees,
Yep.
and
Yep.
Americans that were put out of business because of
Well,
this.
at
But
least they finally stated what their goal was, right?
right,
Because
right,
they
right.
they never came out and said this straight up, but we knew in the back of their mind that they're always playing, multiple plays when they make a move, right?
Sure.
So um they never do something unless there's multiple ways that they can win. So
Mhm.
they were either going to do this and then maybe win, right? But while they did it, they froze all of these companies selling unfinished frames and receivers,
Yeah,
and then they're also, I mean, everything everything else that they've done and not done on approvals and stuff, which I don't even get me into talking about ATF approvals, but
right.
they knew that they were either going to win and take frames and receivers off the table, or they were going to make every single company that was currently engaging in engaging in the business. I don't even want to say that, but
Yeah.
engaging in the business of frames and receivers and parts and things like that. they wanted to kill them financially. They wanted to disappear them and maybe also win the case as well, or
Yeah,
just scare us to the point of, the industry dissolving. But
yeah,
alas, here we are.
yeah. Well, if we allow them to scare us, then they win,
Yep,
right? Because it's what we talk about with terrorism, right? If you're afraid, they already won, and they are terrorists. Okay,
100%.
they are. So you cannot
Can I
live in
just say
fear.
that
Yeah,
is why I wore my special my
yeah,
special hoodie today.
yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out to all those ATF agents out there. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I mean that you're exactly right, and this is always the point, right? Broad stroking, sweeping regulations with no clear-cut points,
Hmm.
so that they can interpret it how they want, when they want, and lock up people how they want to lock them up, and bully and harass and do all the things that they do, right? I mean,
And kill us, and
yeah, and kill
literally
people,
kill us.
right? Yeah, and
Yeah,
kill people.
yeah,
I
and our
mean, this
dogs.
is what they do, and you know, we as an entire firearms community, if you really think about it, you have an enormous firearms community that is very vocal about it to the point that now you have a vice presidential candidate actually saying that he would like to shut it down. Like that's how much noise we have made as a firearms community about the
Yeah,
injustices that they have done. We're getting the attention finally of people that are way up there in politics that could actually do something and making them more aware of all of these injustices. They're not just stories that get
yeah,
buried. And
yeah,
eventually, like I said, that pendulum's going to swing and it's going to be you got to shut these people down fully. You have to. You
yeah,
just have
yeah,
to. They are
yeah,
out of control and they have been for decades. I'm 49 years old. This stuff goes back so far,
yeah,
decades and decades of stealing guns, trafficking weapons, killing citizens,
yep,
burning citizens, I mean, killing dogs. It's just fucking nonstop with them my
yep,
entire life,
mhm,
right? So this is a terrible organization.
yeah.
Terrible,
Yeah, and
terrible,
I
terrible.
could not think of any other. So when you're looking at the natural rights that are given to you by God and are supposed to be protected by the Constitution, I could not think, like, could you think of a government organization whose job was to monitor speech or monitor religion or monitor, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
it
Yeah.
how is this even law? Well, we know it's not lawful, right? But like we're living in this place of, it's one of the things where I say, like, yes, like it's not right, it's not lawful, it's not constitutional, but we have to acknowledge the world that we live in, to where, I should be able to just drill through a lower with a particular size drill bit in a particular place and be able to make any machine gun that I want to. But I do not, because even though I believe that it's wrong, immoral, illegal, and all that stuff, I have to acknowledge the world that I live in and understand that if I were to do something like that, I'm, forfeiting my right to be free. I'm forfeiting my freedom, potentially. So
Yeah.
that's why I don't break the rules, laws, regulations, restrictions, or anything like that for the agents out there whose cocks are throbbing right now. But it's just one of those things. It's like, dude, it is wrong, and we're living in it. It's
Yes,
unfortunate.
we are. We
Barton
certainly
Fink, he says, Bidenomics is working. I have lost 35 pounds in the last 3 months
are.
just because of the cost of food, right?
Yeah, fasting, you have to fast.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Ting Ting, Edge of the South, everybody out there, Sandwich Chef, brother, great to see you, all you guys. So yeah, you've been in the building forever. You are, I would say, are most well known for your YouTube channel, which prior to they got all these cool names for when other stuff happened in YouTube, right? Like the adpocalypse and I
Yeah.
guess some people were calling what happened the last January the gun apocalypse, but really, let's be real, the gun building stuff, that
Yeah.
should have been called like the gun apocalypse.
Yeah,
Like,
we take the cake.
yeah, they
We take the cake.
completely removed any aspect of building or
Oh,
assembling
yeah.
completely off
Oh, yeah.
YouTube. What a lot of people don't know, because I don't think the story has been told so succinctly, is, even though we've talked about it a bunch, is that you also had one of the biggest networks of gun builders all in one place, and it was
Yep.
infiltrated by a bunch of gay federal agents,
Yep.
and all those feds were basically about to. You got a little bit of a head start, and you knew something was about to pop off, and you had the option of basically saying, I don't want to stop my income and revenue, so I'm not going to do anything. But you said, I'm not going to let all these people be put at risk and in jeopardy. So you literally nuked everything.
Yeah, I
Everything.
mean, I'm somebody that does this voluntarily,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So, as a public person, you expect that stuff. I mean, look, I could ask you, and I could ask anybody in here who's in the public space. I get fished every day by these people, and
Yeah.
especially this week when I've been so vocal about Vanderstock and been crushing them online, they fish me
Hmm.
even more,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's just how it goes. Okay,
See, I
like,
have a hard time seeing what's fishing and what's not, because I'm just like, this dude is either an actual idiot, or this is the police. It is the feds. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to.
you tend to over time learn the difference between the two.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Maybe I haven't been fished enough.
yeah, yeah, you learn the difference,
I'd say it's
as
probably
time goes
every
on.
other day, but I haven't been
Yeah.
on the scene like you
Well
have.
well, part of the problem with them is that there's so many agencies, right? So you're not just talking about the ATF, they're part of the DOJ, and now they got teams, within states that are dedicated to this, like in departments and like that. So I'm a
Mhm.
figurehead. So all of these people, will try different things in different agencies for different reasons, right?
Yeah,
But again, all stupid, ridiculous,
yeah,
ridiculously dumb, right?
yeah.
But that doesn't stop them.
And
But the
this
reality
isn't
here
to
is that we
say.
we got to march forward. You can't move forward and be afraid. Like when
Yeah.
this decision drops, and it's going to be a narrowly written decision for sure.
Mhm.
But you don't let them take any power grabs from it. There's no
Yeah,
power grab for them to be taking here, regardless of the decision. So they're going to come out and do marketing. They're very good at marketing,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
Marketing fear. And so you have to understand that you just got to look at the fear and just counteract it. And no
But
matter what this decision comes down at, you cannot allow them one more ounce of power or interpreting whatever this decision is as they have authority or power. They have no authority and no power when it comes to this. They
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
They
and
don't.
you nailed it, because essentially what they're doing, like, some of the marketing that they're doing, like you're saying,
Yeah.
people may not see it for what it is right away, right? But you guys have to know how nefarious and sneaky they are. Okay,
Yep.
so here's an example. You guys remember when that gay TF dude couldn't take the Glock apart?
Yep.
So funny thing is that he couldn't take it apart because there was a switch on the back of it, and it can't
Mhm.
go over the trigger housing area.
Yep.
But again, like, he just, whatever, he doesn't know guns, I guess, or he's whatever. We'll just say he made an error. Either way, what they were doing during that whole thing is, now this isn't to gun guys. Gun guys saw it, right? But
Hmm.
this is to mom and dad at home, whatever, middle-aged folks, middle class folks, like, the I'd say the majority of just the general public. That's who they're doing this for, right? And on this table, when they first are doing this show, they have illegal machine guns, they have illegal Glock switches, they have illegal machine gun conversion devices, and then they have polymer 80s, and then they have 3D printed frames, and
Hmm.
then they have they kind of started to go into stuff that is still completely legal, but they're
Hmm.
coupling it and putting it all on the same table. A semi-auto M240, M249 Saw, or 240 Bravo, whatever it was, a totally lawful semi-auto Barrett, right? Like, all this stuff. But now what's going to happen is, let's say, all these people are seeing this. Let's say all my neighbors watch that. And then I go outside and someone says, "Hey, what do you do?" I say, "Oh, I sell jigs so people can, build polymer 80s at home." And they're like, "Oh, polymer 80s? Those were on the table at that ATF thing. My neighbor's a," right? You see where it happens? "Oh, I
Yeah.
3D print guns, or I design 3D printed," you know what I mean? And now they're taking something that is totally lawful, but they're
Mhm.
spinning it to the general public to make it seem illegal
Yeah,
so
you're
they can
evil.
get the
You're evil if
Chinese.
you're even part of it, you know?
Exactly. But this is how
It's
they get that shit where the Chinese, like, inform on their neighbors and family and shit. That's how
but
they get there.
yes, of course, they do a great job marketing it. You know, the thing about Democrats is they paint you as the most evil thing in the entire world with the name calling and the labeling and everything. Like, you're
Mhm.
so evil. It's not, we don't disagree. You're just so evil. Like, that's
Evil,
their play. Like, try
racist.
to bring you down to the lowest common denominator with hate.
Mhm.
And the thing is that you have to have thick skin. Look, so it's like the Vanderstock case, listening to oral arguments and watching them, right? It's tough to watch, the SG get up there and make her case, and paint all of us as terrible. We're only here because criminals are the only ones that buy this gun. It's only criminals. And this is, and it's hard to listen to that stuff, but you
Yep.
got to develop that thick skin to know that these people are just Fruit Loops, like seriously Fruit Loops, and don't know what they're talking about, and
Yep.
you have to hope that common sense takes over. Uh,
Oh, yeah, no auto key
yeah,
card on
no,
tape.
but again, well, we learned that he's in prison right now, and by the time
Yeah.
this comes out, he'll be more towards the end of his sentence. Okay, but the reality is that they basically let him off the hook in their argument, right?
Yeah.
Right? They was
Yeah.
we would never prosecute anybody for drilling a hole in a semi-automatic AR and turning it into
Yeah.
a machine gun. Oh, really? That's not readily
Really?
convertible?
So one
Right?
hole is
We
not an
wouldn't take
issue.
one part of a statue and move it to another
Of
without like
course.
that. And it's like, guys, you got people in fucking prison because of this stuff,
And because
and
mind you, 0 holes, right? Not
right,
not even 1
right.
hole. Like, this is
Right. You had the
crazy.
SG herself up there telling the justices in front of the Supreme Court. And I even built one myself. And the question
Don't
comes
believe it.
out, what tools did you use? Whose
That's
tools
what
did
I'm
you
saying.
use?
Dude,
Did you go buy your own tools? Is that
yeah.
what you did, SG? Because I gotta
Well,
tell you, you're going to jail. That's a felon. That's a
yeah,
felony according to them.
yeah.
Right?
And
So
this is the
like this
same
is what I'm
thing.
saying. Like they make up all these nonsensical rules and then it captures even them in it, whether it's them trying to break down a firearm. The lies are just endless. They're
Yeah.
endless.
Yeah. Jordan Vinro, brother, he was there as well. Great to see you. He quotes
Yeah,
her and says, "We would never
right.
say that an AR-15 would be readily convertible to a machine gun because it only
Yeah,
takes 1
yeah,
hole." Right, like that, and that was
right.
one of the attorneys on our side's issue. Well, Jordan's side, right?
Yeah.
The issue, because he said, okay, well, if it's funny because initially she was talking about 6 holes, 4 tabs, and the channel and all this. Then it goes to a few holes. Then it goes to 1 hole. It's like, dude, stop being so manipulative with your words. Like,
Oh,
just
you want to
say
talk about
what it is.
manipulation? I mean, Jackson was up there. She's the Supreme Court justice. All I got to do is go like this. Like this is
Yeah,
what you missed.
to
You missed the
remove
body
plastic.
language. All I got to do is that, and it's a gun, and so yeah,
Yeah.
I think that the big disconnect, what I've seen in the last week, and I was guilty of it, as you know, we were on the group text during the bump stock case, and
Mhm.
listening to oral arguments, you listen to them beat it down, beat it down, beat it down, right? You listen to
Yeah.
that side, evil, 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 but you're not able to see the reaction. Like I'm sitting there, Clarence Thomas didn't even want to be there when she was there. He
Yeah.
was like, I don't even think he asked her a question. It was really like, get out of here, lady. Okay.
Mhm.
And obviously, we saw Alito, hold up the blank legal pad and ask about the grocery list, right? And then, she kind of answered that, well, no, because it could be something else, right? So that wouldn't be. And then he said, okay, well, what if I put it in front of you, eggs, peppers, cheese? Is that a Western omelet? And she's like, no, because those ingredients could be used for something else, right? And then that's when
Mhm.
Amy jumped in and Amy said, Justice Barrett said, what if it was a HelloFresh kit and specifically for turkey and cheese, right? And
Mhm.
so She's trying to illustrate the point, but you have to understand what they're doing. What they're doing is walking these people down the path that they've heard these arguments all before.
Mhm.
Alito and Amy Coney Barrett are extreme pro-life stance people.
Mhm.
They're pro-life. So you know how many times they have heard
A
the
clump of
argument
cells.
that a
Yeah.
clump of cells isn't a baby, but yet you're going to say a clump of parts is a gun. That's
Yeah.
where they're walking them down. And
Yeah.
people get confused, like listening, like these people are smart. They're probing the government's argument,
Yeah.
right? That's what they're doing. They're probing because they got to write their decision. And so I think the biggest thing that really happened, because it was tough to sit through. It's difficult to sit through. Me, Jordan, and the Defense Distributed team and Jordan's family, we're the only ones there that showed up,
Mm.
for our side. Okay. And it's hard for us to sit there and listen to these people paint us as the worst people in the world.
Oh, yeah, they said
Like,
that.
we're terrible people. And it's tough to listen to that. But the entire time they're talking, they sound convincing, but we know it's all lies.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
know it's all lies. But there were a few big moments that really hit home as far as like looking at the justices and seeing how they reacted. And one was when Patterson who's the FPC lawyer, he was
Mhm.
talking about the short barrel rifle conversion,
Mhm.
right? And he made a good point there. And he made another excellent point right towards the end, that when he said it, Justice Roberts, who was the most one we're concerned about here, okay, he was like, like, just like, it was like a mic drop for everybody, when he
Yeah.
said, how can we drill a hole in one part of the statue and then claim it's not a machine gun in violation of it, but if we drill a hole in another part of the statue, then it's against the law and a felony,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
we can't have this both ways, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can't have this double standard.
Well, and let's be honest, if the ATF did get what they wished, right? If it was, drilling one singular hole, right? Imagine how far they would run with that. That hole, like, oh, we would never, for one singular hole, we would never. And because Jordan's kids are watching, I'll rephrase what I was just about to say.
Super kids.
Biatch, how many people are in jail right now for
Yes.
one hole or less? Right?
Right.
Not hurting anyone, no, no victims, no
Correct.
one shot, no one, right? Just simply possessing something that, by the way, the rights that their creator gave to them when they were born, the rights
Correct.
that God gave you, the Constitution covers those natural rights. So, like, please help me understand this. The moment that the ATF is like, we pinky promise we're not gonna, they would be all over that. Everyone,
Absolutely.
every single
Absolutely.
semi-automatic AR-15 would be eh, eh, readily convertible. Every AK for not even just an AK, even just an 80% AK, right? An 80%, like, they would find a way to take that to the extreme. And no matter how this ends, one way or another, they're still going to continue seeking power and seeking, further restrictions. It's crazy.
Well, it's like when the federal judge knocked it down the first time, right? So when this
Hmm.
was in federal court, right? And the judge knocked it down. And then, like, 2 days after Christmas, they put out that letter saying, basically, we don't care what that judge said. This is what it is. And if you do it, we're coming after you, right? And when that happened, Palmer 80 caved. I said that they shouldn't. I said, no, you need to run the test. You need to test them on it. You
Yeah.
already have a decision in your favor, even though it wasn't Palmer 80's case, it's Defense Distributed's case, okay?
Hmm.
And Blackhawk Manufacturing. You can't be afraid of their bullying language, right? They raided you, they did all this stuff, they never arrested anybody, they lied on the warrants, right? Like,
Hmm.
you should have been already suing them civilly for violation of your civil rights. Like, there was some action that should have been taken on the offensive. And that's what I'm saying. We're so used to playing defense that we got to get out of that mindset. You know, you've got to take them to task on it now. Like with
Yeah.
this Supreme Court case, everybody's out there saying, "Oh, you know, we lost, we lost, we lost, we lost, we lost, we lost." We did not lose. We won this case. You'll know it in June. By June 2025, you'll see that we won this case. No
Yeah.
doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I'm hoping on the Administrative Procedures Act alone, that you know, that we win this. Jordan Vinrose says, ask the Vietnam era reenactment guys that laser engraved, and this is real, y'all. This is
Right.
real. For
Exactly.
those of y'all out there
Exactly.
that do not know, they laser engraved a circle where the third pinhole on the old XM177 and Vietnam era M16A1s that they were rebuilding. They laser engraved a circle where the third pinhole goes so they could have the exact markings. ATF classified them as a machine gun because they considered it indexing, basically indexing a hole that so that they could drill it in the future or something, which is absolutely absurd. If it's not a hole, it's not a hole, right? Like if someone takes a punch, probably honestly not even in the right spot, looking at what happened with CRS, if someone takes one of those indexing punches and just goes tink, felony,
Yeah.
literal felony. Like, how absurd is that?
Yeah.
DLD, when I was a former Democrat, I once believed state representatives actually spoke for us. Now, a decade later, it's all about power for the left and power corrupt. Dude, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely.
Which again, not to bring it back to the abortion thing, but these are their two core issues, right? The Democrats have two core things that they argue all the time, right? Gun control and abortion.
Yeah.
Those are like their two big money makers, right?
Yeah.
Those are two big money makers. And what you heard in Vanderstock is exactly that. You know, a clump of parts is readily convertible to a gun, but yet a clump of cells is not a human.
Yeah.
Like they defeat their own arguments. You know, it's the hypocrisy is too wide. And I believe the justices caught on. I believe that they did. You know,
I hope
obviously
so.
the liberal ones don't care. They were there for political posturing.
Yeah.
That's fine.
They're gonna, like, look, Sheila Jackson Lee, or is it Sheila Jackson Lee? Right? Jackson Lee, whatever her name is. She is the one, for those of y'all out there that may or may not know, she's the one that said, I've held an AR-15 and it was so heavy, it's as heavy as 10 boxes if you were moving, and it shoots a 50 caliber bullet. And like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
she doesn't know anything. So when she hears people say, oh, well, you remove plastic, she's thinking, oh, you just remove plastic, right? Like, you know, you need tools for this, right? Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the government wrote briefs and they wrote like, you know, drawings and stuff of how easy it was. And like I said, the SG
oh
herself
yeah, she's
testified
dead.
that she, you know, not testified, but she was arguing and said she could do it in under an hour. You know,
I'm
great, great. We want to see the tools receipts. I think that's where we're at.
dude,
We
and
want
you
to
know
see that
what?
stuff.
I anytime someone says so, yes, she is dead. I'm sorry. Wrong person. This is the other Justice
Sotomayor.
Jackson. Yeah, not the lady, the 10 boxes if you were moving. My apologies. I'm, dad brain. My apologies. But yeah, so anytime I hear something like that, right? Like, perfect example when Kamala Harris was like, I have a gun. Yeah. Like, okay, what kind? It's a Glock. And then the question stopped. Oh,
Yeah.
no, 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 no,
What
no.
model?
Yeah,
What
what
caliber?
model? Yeah, 19,
You
17,
go down
24,
the road.
26,
Did you build
27.
it?
Yeah, did you build it? Is it an OEM frame? What kind of parts you got up in there? Is it first time
Yeah.
quality?
What are you
Right?
running for sights on that?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
What
Yeah.
kind of light you got on that pig? You rocking a goon beam on that pig? What are you rocking?
Yeah, for real.
You know,
Yeah.
they've been all over that.
I actually carry. Do you? What kind of holster? What kind
Yeah,
of, you rocking
carry.
IWB, OWB? You know, you shoulder holster kind of girl? Like,
Yeah,
what's the capacity of the magazine, bro? Please let me know.
right.
Like,
Inquiring minds want to know the important questions.
yes, and the same thing when I hear these people say, I actually built one. Skirt.
Yeah,
When?
yeah.
What'd you use? How'd you remove the tabs? How did you remove it? Like, I want to ask every single question, and plus, I want to see pictures. What did that bitch look like? Because if you did build it, you destroyed it. You totally,
Right.
even me. So I had already taken the Glock armors course prior to even starting building, right?
Yeah.
With the shop I used to work for, and it wasn't the real Glock Armorer's course. It was a course put on by a Glock Armorer. I don't even think I got like a real certification for it. Anyway, and my first one, man, I still got it. It still runs, right? Wrong pins in the wrong place, tabs all to like that. It's not pretty. It's the white one that I thought would be so cool if it was white battle worn. So I just took
Yeah.
black spray paint and just destroyed a white frame. Anyway, even me, I did not do the best job on my first one. Like I would love to see some of these fools that say I built them. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me more.
Yeah.
You know?
It's all lies. But
Yeah.
now that you brought
Yeah.
up the white one, can we knock down one of their other arguments?
Please.
One
Yeah.
of their main arguments here in oral arguments was it serves no other purpose. It serves no other purpose. I encourage everybody here to go over to my blog and do some reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really go to my blog and do some reading. But the reality is how false is that this serves no other purpose? You know,
Dude.
until you had this new setup for about 3 years, you had boxes and boxes and boxes as a display.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
display, as a marketing tool.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I use kits all the time for educational resources, right?
And I'm
Uh,
still sitting on at
Correct.
the
Right.
in the
Right.
bookshelf at home.
But you said white frame, and that brought up even another use, right? Collectors.
Collectors. Yeah. Yeah.
Collectors. I mean,
Yeah.
like if you have a white frame, a Spectra frame, a CL frame, a Robin's Egg Blue frame, a white frame, a
Mm-hmm.
Strike 80 frame, like these are things you would never cut into, right? You would never cut into those.
You would never,
Yeah, maybe
ever,
stipple them.
ever. Hold on. Hey, there you go.
But you know what I mean? Like we know people like this industry is full of collectors, people
Yeah.
that love these things, right? And
Yeah.
so yes, there's so many other uses that people dive into these kits for and these frame and receiver kits for. So again, you know, they just say it and hope it sticks. And you know what? For the lay person, like you're saying, sitting in the room, it's stuck, right?
Yeah.
But what is the decision? And you have to understand that it would, like she got up there at the end and said, "You're going to undo the entire." She panicked at the end. People don't realize that rebuttal was panic. You could hear it in her voice because she's an attorney, so she saw what just happened. She's the smartest attorney the government has. Make no mistake about it. She's the
Yeah.
top dog.
She was hand selected.
They rolled out the gold medal attorney for this case, right?
Yeah. Yeah. She was
You don't see her too
literally,
often unless it's very, very important.
yeah, she was hand selected for sure.
For this case. And
Yeah.
she got up there at the end and she was panicking. You're going to undo the whole Gun Control Act if you allow this to happen. It's like, lady, you know, the Gun Control Act has been around for 50, 60 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like it is. The only
Yeah.
people undoing the Gun Control Act is what you're arguing right now, because that
Exactly.
is going to undo firearms in general if they rule against it. And
Well,
so you have to be confident that, you know, again, the decision was probably going to be very narrow. And what I mean by that is going to be very tight language in the decision. Like
yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
going to, like, they're probably not going to strip everything from the ATF, but they're also not going to give them this. Do you understand what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
can see that happening.
I can see that
But
too. And
but certainly to think that it's going to be completely overturned and they're just going to hand over all this authority to the ATF, it's not going to happen, or the DOJ.
no,
It's just not going to happen, folks.
no. Yeah.
I don't care if it's a firearms issue and it's emotional, you know, they're not going to do it. They're not going
Yeah.
to allow that to happen.
Well, and look, this, like you and I were talking last we were on the phone. It was like, dude, this would be a great opportunity to attack some of the other things in the 1968 GCA that have really created some serious issues. Like, for an example, the fact that an AR-15 lower receiver doesn't fit the language of the 1968 Gun Control Act, right? But it's the serialized portion just because it's the closest thing, and they certainly couldn't make a combination of the upper and lower, right? Like,
Right.
so I mean, I don't know. I think this would be a great opportunity to, you know, attack some of these things, and who knows, maybe depending on the language that's used, it could have a positive impact on more than just unfinished frames and receivers. But I don't know. I mean, what? Oh, actually, I have one other question. When I forgot who it was. When and someone had asked where Safety Doc is. I don't know. I haven't seen Safety Doc in a long time. Haven't talked to him in a long time. I mess with Safety Doc, man. He's a good dude, and I take a lot of quotes and terminology from him and all that. So if you're out there, Safety Doc, we love you and miss you. Come back. But anytime you hear me say the velocity of information, I got that from him. Anyway, so one thing I have to ask is when I heard that one justice hold up, I could see it, even though I only heard it. He held up probably like a legal pad
It was a blank,
and
blank. It was blank too.
yeah,
There was
yeah,
nothing on
a
it
blank
that I
legal
could
pad
see.
and a pen. And he said, "Let me ask you a question. Do I have a grocery list?" I
Right.
was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yes, get
Yeah.
him." You know,
Yeah, and
because
again, he's probing their argument. And the thing is that out of all the justices, Alito is, I would, in my opinion, the most brilliant.
mm,
Right? Like as far as smartness is concerned, he's the
mhm,
most brilliant out of them. And so,
Clarence
and
Thomas
again, she
definitely the
answered
most
the question
faithful.
really good because she's very convincing, the attorney.
Yeah.
Okay, she's very convincing.
Well, certainly not, as in
False
they could use for other
information,
things.
but convincing. But that's
Mhm,
why, well, and I say that because that's why Barrett followed it up with something very more specific,
mhm.
right? The only thing that I have concern about is that Barrett referred to them as ghost guns. And that was, again, they've marketed this so well that it's even in Justice's mindset that that's what they are,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so, but look, the other thing too is that we're talking about that one little piece of the Gun Control Act. You continue to read in the Gun Control Act, it actually talks about building firearms for your own personal use, and it's perfectly fine. As long
Yep.
as you are allowed to possess a firearm, you can build them for your own personal use. You just can't sell them or distribute them.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, we're only talking about this, but like you start to go down and in the Gun Control Act, and it very clearly tells you that as an American, you have the right to build your own firearm for personal use.
So some people have taken the languaging of the Gun Control Act to say that people cannot manufacture firearms to sell. However, if a firearm is manufactured and someone makes it and they
And you
keep
no
it,
longer want
shoot
it
it,
down the road,
carry
sure,
it,
you can sell it.
yeah. But if you're manufacturing them and selling them, that's illegal, right? You are specifically like intentionally avoiding the licensure needed to sell guns, right? But that's been an issue that's come up a few times because people are like, "Hey, I had a gun, I built it years back, I've shot it, fired it, carried it, whatever. And I just kind of want something else now." It's like,
Well, to be honest with you, that's something I would like to see challenged. I really don't
yeah,
believe in the whole FFL system,
yeah, all
and
of that is
they're
awful.
they're pushing it. And here is there's lots of problems, but here's one of the main problems, right? So I used to have an FFL for Curious and Relics, right?
Hmm.
Uh, I had it, but I never renewed it. Do you know why?
I could think of a few reasons.
Okay, well, I'll tell you the number one reason. Because the reality is that when you have a federal firearms license, you're giving them permission through the license to come in and harass you at any time that they want. They can come in and inspect and do whatever they want, turn your place upside down, and do their fetty things that they do. You know, the thing that amazes me about these arguments and watching that argument is like that these people really can't understand why they're not trusted. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah,
literally kill people and can't understand why the average American doesn't trust them,
I know.
right?
And then to
So
make it even worse, they post stuff like the dog calendars and stuff like they're they're making jokes about killing y'all's dogs
I know it's
and
sad. It's
and
really
we
sad.
and we
But this
pay
is
for
what
it.
they want. They want everybody to go to an FFL. That's where the whole engagement business rule is now, right? They want everybody to if you do anything in the firearm space, to become part of the FFL so that they can come and take and pull your livelihood whenever they want. Look at how many licenses they were pulling over in the Biden administration. They were pulling licenses left and right from people for the most minor infraction, right? Because they want to control and they want to put it out of business. Here's something though I want you to chew on for a little bit, because I really believe this is true. All right. I think we're in the part of a pendulum swing. Okay. Number one. And number two, what we saw in the last week are big signs, my friends. These are big signs. Last week, you saw Kamala, obviously, with the Glock story. We saw Tim Waltz over the weekend with the hunting pheasant story. And what you're realizing, folks, what is happening is the Democrats are realizing that they cannot win without firearm owners anymore. They're starting to come to the realization that that is a demographic that has left their party, that Democrats that own guns will not vote for them anymore because they have punished them as well in all of these regulations. And they are starting to recognize these are Democrats. Gun control is one of their hugest issue. One of the things they commit tyranny over, and all of a sudden now they're starting to put a push about firearms. So they're slowly coming to the realization here that they need firearm owners if they're going to win elections in the future, which means as that realization comes to fulfillment, because it is true, by the way, statistically speaking, it's fucking true. Okay. There are more firearm owners than there are Democrats or Republicans. Okay. It's coming to fruition. And that's when you're going to start to see, if it comes to full fruition, they start to cut off the Everytowns, the Mom Demands Actions, the Giffords. And when they cut them off, or they don't bend at their will anymore, that's going to be the sign that things are coming full swing.
Man, at least reducing the funding of those lobbyists that are just like I think they do finally realize it for several reasons. And I think part of it is going back just 4 years, okay? Going back just 4 years, gun control was a huge thing. I mean, anyone, if you say gun control, they're like, oh, all these people are, shooting up schools with AR-15s and stuff. Which, if you look at like 2023, there was a large number of mass tragic events, and with all long guns, all rifles, all shotguns, ARs, AKs, everything, less than 400 people were killed. Okay. Compared to the 100 people a day plus really like 120 people a day that are dying by fentanyl poisoning, fentanyl overdoses, and so like really what's the issue, right? But anyway, I think what happened was 4 years ago in 2020 when things kind of flipped and we ended up in a situation like with the karate code, a whole bunch of people that were anti-gun realized that all of a sudden the police aren't going to be around to help you. All of a sudden there's, cities all over the US on fire and no one can do anything, and police cannot get to people, and people finally had this realization that, man, I need to at least have a gun. And then some of them even went shooting, and some of them kind of fell in love with it. And dude, I had known people that were completely anti-gun until around 2020, 2021, and they started buying guns, they started shooting, and now they're like, I mean, like at or beyond where I am. And I'm like, man, it took
and
me
they
like,
realize that their Second Amendment right, or their rights in general, but it's usually the Second Amendment right that they come to love is what moves them away from the party. Right. I mean, every time you see Democrats go, I mean, times have we seen that story where they're like, I didn't realize it was so hard. Like I had to go through a waiting period and yeah, we know.
You voted for it.
Yeah, we know. Or I don't understand. I've never been in trouble, and I applied for my concealed carry permit and they denied me because it said shall issue. You know,
Yep, yep.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we
You know,
know.
welcome
You
to the
did that.
fucking party. You
Yeah,
know what I
yep.
mean? We've
Yeah,
known this shit for years. And thank you for voting for all these fucking assholes because
yep.
we've been living with them.
And the funniest thing, man, is that so many people came into the building world at that point because they
Yeah,
couldn't get a gun, right? They
absolutely.
could not buy a Glock, and
Yep.
everyone's like Glock 19, Glock 19, Glock 19, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I can't even buy one. My gun shop sold out. Glocks are selling for 850, so they ended up building them, right? And a lot of people got into building around that time, but
Yeah.
then they killed the industry. So
Well, they killed it, but look, we're gonna rebuild it. Jordan's still here. He's still standing strong.
yeah.
DD's still here. I'm still here. You're
Hmm.
still here,
Yeah.
right? We're
Yep.
you know we're gonna build from the ground up and a better, stronger thing. The thing is that again, like I said, when this decision drops, we've got to take them to task on it because they're going to put out a letter right away saying, no, you fucking can't do this, and this. And we have to look at the decision. We have to look at their threats, and we need to move forward and not pay attention to their threats.
Yeah. This is beautiful. Honoring intimates. Thank you. And he said to them, but now whoever has a money belt is to take it along. Likewise, also a bag. And whoever has no sword should sell his garment or his robe, depending on which, version you're reading, and buy one.
Right.
Sell your garment to
Yeah.
arm yourself.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drew, thank you, bro. I saw your text. So are you talking about those are your favorites out of the two? The Boyd is the one named in honor of my father. Thank you. And the co-pilot is the one after Rich. And dude, congrats to all you guys that are getting your orders, man. I love that. I love that. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, you guys are supporting me. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, man, it's been crazy. I mean, what I would never say like, let's make projections on what you think is going to happen. But if you were to guess of how you think the Vanderstock frames and receivers case is going to end, if you had a crystal ball that you could rub on a little bit, rub a little something out, what would you guess?
um, well, I guess we would win. I think this is a win. Well, I think it's a favorable decision in the APA, right? Administrative
Hmm.
Appeal Teachers Act, right?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be narrow as far as the language is concerned. Now, whether it's 5-4 or 6-3, I mean, whose guess is that? Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But I believe that it will go in the favor of Vanderstock.
Hmm.
Um, and it will be written in a way, like I said earlier, that says, no, you can't do this. But yes, we agree the machine test is probably the best way. The machine operations test is probably the best way to regulate it. They
Hmm.
might say something like that.
Yeah.
They're not going to come out and say what the interpretation is. That's not their role.
Hmm.
Okay. But they're going to say, no, you can't just redefine this. They're going to say that. And I think they might say, we agree, that a good guideline is the machine operations test, not just a rulemaking. They might say something like that, which puts us kind of back at square one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Kind of back at square one.
Do you
But
think they'll go ahead, go ahead.
but what I think happens next is they come out and they say what the rules are. And that's where we as an industry need to say, no, we're not sending you stuff anymore to,
Yeah.
okay. Right?
We're
Like
not getting approvals.
if you don't think it passes the machine operation test, then you come to us.
Yeah.
Because there's been too much of this between bump stocks, triggers, 80% firearms, where they give approvals and then they come arrest a whole bunch of people or go confiscate stuff. Like their abuse is over with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Could
If
you
we have a
imagine?
machine operations test, we don't need them to say, okay, we'll
Yeah.
sell it. And then if you want to come for us, and we'll duke it out in court.
Yep.
Nobody's
Yep.
afraid to go to jail anymore. I guess that's what they haven't realized. We're
Yeah.
all fucking sick of it.
Yeah, dude. And that's look, could you
We're sick of it.
imagine any other industry? So let's say well, whatever bullshit in the United States that oversees like cars, right? Could you
Mhm.
imagine if a company just made, wheels and rims? Okay, that's it. That's all they made, right? Never made a car, right? But let's say there's several agencies that oversee like car shit, right? Um, if a company made just wheels and rims, could you imagine them sending the wheels and rims to like the EPA and like the like whatever, like
Right,
for
right,
approval? Like what?
right,
Why are all of these trigger companies sending shit to the ATF like it's not a gun? It's not a
right.
gun. We are literally complying with them. We are future complying
Correct,
with them by
correct.
saying, "Oh, hey, I want to make sure that I'm in. I get it. We want to do things the right way. We want to do things
Yeah,
lawfully."
but you get punished when you do the things the right way. All of the
Exactly.
examples I just gave you,
Mhm.
right? And then you look at Roe. Roe, he had the little build shop and he went to them and they said okay, and then they fucking went and arrested him too.
Exactly.
So
Same
like
thing
this stuff,
with CRS.
it's over. It's here, same thing. It's over. It's
Yeah.
over. There's no more permission. We're
Yeah.
not asking for permission anymore.
Yep.
We understand firearms better than these people. That's
Yep.
clear. And we
100%.
also are lawful people.
Yeah.
Okay? That's who
Mhm.
we are. So when we know something is not going to meet a standard, like we wouldn't do something to be arrested. Do you understand what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
wouldn't we
Yeah.
wouldn't break the law intentionally. So why would we go to non-experts to tell us that a bottle of water could be someday converted into a firearm? They can't tell
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
These games are over as far as I'm concerned. I mean, we have to see what the decision says, but my gut tells me that the decision will be written narrow, and the DOJ will come out right away and say, well, this is how we interpret it, and we're still going to do all this. And what I'm saying is we as an industry need to say fuck you, no,
Yep.
as
Yep.
FPC would say, right? No, we're
We
not
need
going to
to.
submit stuff to you. No, we already know what it takes. This is what it's going to be.
I'm putting time, energy, money into launching a product. The last thing I'm gonna do once I get it through R&D and through all this
Yeah,
shit is to, "Oh, let me send it to these people that hate
yeah,
me, that
forget it.
hate
Yeah,
my
forget it.
guts, that
Well,
hate
they're
my
not going to prove
company."
anything from
That
this point on anyway. The best case
Yeah.
scenario here, honestly, even before June, is Trump wins. Trump wins. He
Mhm.
goes in January. He calls Elon in, and Elon does his Department of Government Efficiency, and he wipes fucking 80-90% of these agencies out.
Mm.
That's the best case scenario. Then you don't even have to worry about it. You
Yeah.
don't have, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about any of that nonsense anymore.
Well,
So that's best case scenario.
I'll be honest, I think no matter what happens, they're gonna be wiped out one way or another.
Well, probably. I mean,
Oh,
I honestly
I'm
think it's
sorry.
3 weeks. It's 3 weeks from today. It's 3 weeks from today. It's going to get spicy from that
Yeah.
point until January 20th. It's
Yeah,
going
no
to get
matter
very
what.
spicy here. It's going
No
to get.
matter which way it
It's
ends
going to
up.
get spicy.
Yeah.
No matter what. Absolutely, it's going to get spicy. If
Yeah.
Trump wins, don't forget they pushed his sentencing out till after the
Mhm.
election. They did that intentionally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Everybody's like, "Oh, see that guy's coming around." That fucking guy, that judge isn't coming around. He did
Yeah.
that intentionally because if he wins, he's gonna fucking put him in jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like these things are calculated, okay? And if he doesn't win, I don't know anybody who's gonna stand for that misjustice.
Yeah,
To be
yeah,
quite
and well,
honest with
and
you.
that's the thing, it's like, if she wins, drama in the streets. If he wins, serious drama in the
Drama in the
streets.
streets no
Yeah,
matter
like,
what.
there is
Right.
no win here, and that's
There
if we
really
have
isn't.
an election. I honestly think that, like, man, as much as I hate to say it, like, I've said this several times, it's like, they would have to do something so bad that would be that would basically make the general public think like, well, of course we didn't have an election because X was going on, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Like something so bad, so dangerous, so lethal. I don't know, World War III. Like, I don't know, basically us funding several different countries, several different wars with lethal aid to the point where Iran is like, yo, if you don't stop, I'm coming after you, bro. Like what like
This is why I asked you all to follow me on X. right? MGB
Mhm.
1776. Because if you missed what just happened, you would have heard it here. The Defense Department has codified its right to deploy lethal force against its own citizens. They just did it this week.
What?
The reissue of a Directive 524001 is a declaration of intent. The military, an entity designed for external enemies, now turns its gaze towards poise, act, deadly precision with the inevitable clash of wills erupts. This is a design. They anticipate conflict, and in their anticipation, they prepare the battlefield of the streets. So I encourage you to read this document that was just done. I know you can't really see it here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll pull it up. So what's the document called? You said 52 what?
5240.01. Got passed September 27th, 2024.
Ooh, okay. Conversations with DOD.
And then what you want to do is go to page 2, section C. And this allows assistance in responding with assets with potential for lethality or any situation in which it is reasonably foreseeable that providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. It also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civilian law enforcement and civilian individuals or groups is reasonably anticipated.
I think I'm in the wrong one. Hold on.
I'll send it to you. Actually, just go to my Twitter, my X account, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
right
what
there.
I
You
was
can
gonna
just read it.
do. I'm not logged
You
in.
can just read it.
Twitter, X. I hate calling it X. I'm sorry. Uh, MGB 1776. Okay. All right. I got it here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So for everybody out there, do me a favor and go over to X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and make sure you follow at MGB 1776. Okay. So levels of authority. Assistance in responding with assets with potential for lethality or any situation in which it is reasonably foreseeable that providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. I know you already read this, sorry. It also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civilian law enforcement and civilian individuals or groups is reasonably anticipated. Such use of force must be in accordance with DoD 5210.56, potentially as further restricted based on the specific of the requested support. Dang, bro. That's pretty crazy.
You
The
mean it's
defense
pretty
department,
crazy that we would pass something with that amendment in 6 weeks from an election of
right?
martial law?
We're
Martial law.
literally
Martial law.
21 days
Yeah. Right.
away. Like
Correct.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And look, anytime something like this has popped up, y'all, like look, recently we saw the DOJ I think it was the DOJ say that Trump voters should be surveilled at voting polls.
Stupid.
Right.
Fucking people, man.
Right?
Yeah.
And that, what was the other thing? There's a bunch of stuff. Anytime there is a white paper that comes out, just you have to remember that they are against you. Your government hates you and wants you dead. Okay. If you are a military aged male that is armed and rebellious, they
Yep.
hate you. They
Yep.
hate you. And the
Yep.
best way for them to cause problems in our lives is to get into World War III. And it seems like they are doing an excellent job starting that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. But folks, we need to make it, from here until next year.
dude,
Peacefully. Peacefully.
from
We
now
want
to January,
yeah.
like that's the like from now to January. That's
Yeah.
and y'all, if you do not believe, and this is we talk about preparedness all the time. If you do not believe that every single law enforcement agency in the United States right now is not arming up preparing, getting the things that they need, water, food, shelter, security, right? Like they're
You
getting
know who they're
all of
getting it
these
from?
things. The federal government.
Yeah, sending
Yeah.
them their tactical vehicles, right?
Their
I mean,
MRAPs, their
street cops today look like military units,
straight up,
right?
straight. They look like
Right,
soft guys. They look like
right,
special
right,
operations dudes. You know, the
right.
dude, the police out here are straight up like they used to wear
Yeah,
like multicam and shit like that, and it would cause problems for me psychologically to see dudes walking around in multicam in like full kit.
yeah.
Now they rock all black, which honestly, it looks worse. They look like
I
bank
know,
robbers. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
know,
it's crazy. It's
I
crazy.
know.
So
Can we just give a shout out to everybody that's here tonight, right?
sure.
Because guys, all these names have been here for years.
Hmm.
Everybody here, I've
Hmm.
seen these names for years,
Yeah.
right?
Boom, 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 boom,
Guys,
boom,
guys,
boom.
we've aren't we the smartest ones? Like seriously, we've been saying this and building this stuff for years, long before we got here today.
Yeah.
We've been doing these things and doing our own preparedness and taking our independence into our own hands,
Hmm.
right? Like
Yeah.
we've been talking about this for a long time as a community, coming together, sharing our knowledge, sharing our resources,
Yeah.
to make that happen. And thank God we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank God we did it. Because imagine the people that are going to be caught literally with their pants down, you know?
Yeah, yeah, dude. All these people that are like, it's never gonna happen. They're never gonna come for your
Oh
guns.
my
It's
God.
never gonna. Why would you ever need a gun? That like, man, I feel
Yeah,
terrible. And
I
honestly,
know.
it's not even just the guns. Like, yes, guns are very important tools to have, and I would recommend that you have as many as your little heart desires. But if you don't have water, if you don't have food, if you don't have shelter, and by shelter I mean more than one place to go, a backup place to go, and you better have comms with the people that you plan on meeting at the backup place, and shelter to shelter you and your family and whomever you're traveling with on the way to the place. Because guess what? You're probably walking, and every form of shelter you can think of. And shelter, by the way, may just be a literal poncho so you can stay dry while you're walking to your bug out place, right? And you better have your comms tight, you better have your ish tight, and you better be able, and this could be the hardest thing for some people, you better be able to walk away from every single thing that you own with just the kit that you have on you and your family. And, you know,
And all of the things that you love,
yep,
all of your materialistic things need to go bye-bye.
yep,
They
yep,
can't come with you. Let's actually just play this out for a minute.
yeah.
Let's literally play this out for a minute. What happens if the Democrats lose? So that means Kamala is the sitting vice president who has to certify the election, right? There has to be a transfer of power.
Hmm.
What happens? Do you, what
I, I,
happens here?
I would say we're likely going to end up in a situation that they had accused the opposing side of, only they would really hold back from transferring power. And then
So let me just say this and see. Let's see agreements in here if you agree or disagree with some of the things I'm going to say.
yeah,
Okay. So we did see over the summer of love, right, that those Democrat-run cities, they allowed them to burn, right? They told
dude,
the
I got
police, don't get
so mad.
involved, don't go there. Like they were bombing police stations, burning businesses,
Blinding
rioting in
them
the
with
street.
lasers,
Actually took over the
dude,
entire city for blocks for weeks, the pretty much all summer.
all over
Okay,
the country, all over the dude, and I
right.
can't get so mad just
So
thinking about that
so
because it was allowed. Mad, mad, mad. You know what?
right.
I'm almost too mad to do the show at this point. In fact, I just need to walk out of here. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right. So regardless of the win-loss thing, what do they do when that breaks out? The same thing that they've already done, which is just not enforce rule of law, just let it go crazy, because why
It
not? We lost,
it
it doesn't matter anyway.
at
That's your
least
mess to clean up. So
At
we'll let
least.
it go. We'll let them burn everything. We don't care. We'll let chaos go nonstop because we're not
Well,
going to be here.
and because they're doing it on their behalf too, right? So,
Correct. Right.
they're yeah, ADXR, I'll bring that up too about the DOJ just filed a lawsuit against Virginia for taking 6,800 illegal voters off of our rolls.
Hmm.
Crazy. And the Biden administration sued them. We'll talk on that later.
Okay. So
But
now what happens if they win, though? All right. So that's if they lose.
Well, so let me add one thing really quickly. They would be rioting on their behalf, right?
Correct.
On the left's behalf. So they would, of course, never stop them. They would only encourage them and they would push them to, to keep, to continue. They would also provide them with tools to continue. But they've
Right.
done this so many times now that it would be so much worse, so much more calculated, and so much more supported. I would not be surprised if we saw them doing airdrops of shields and gas masks and all of, like, yeah, it would get bad.
Yeah. I wouldn't be. Listen,
It's not a dry run.
I told you the last time we had a stream. If you said to me 25 years ago, MGB, they're gonna find coke in the
In the
White
White
House, I'd be
House.
like, I'm not surprised. MGB, there was a president getting head by an intern in the Oval Office. I'm not surprised. Hey,
Yeah.
MGB, some gay people are doing, butt sex right on the chamber floor. Not surprised. Hey,
Yeah.
MGB, do you know that the president and the entire administrative staff believes that a man could be pregnant? I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck? No way.
Yeah. And
No,
and
they
did you
do,
know
right?
that?
So
Yeah.
honestly, at this point,
Mhm.
zero would ever shock me.
Nothing would surprise me.
Zero.
Yeah.
That was my limit. That was my Alex Jones moment. I'm done.
Like,
I'm
did
done.
you know that they're taking the rainbow, which is God's covenant that he'll never drown the earth again, using it as a sodomy flag? Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so we can also say, don't forget again, Trump's date to be sentenced is in between here.
Hmm.
Right? So you can create a whole bunch of chaos and then do this and create a whole bunch of chaos in the other side, and you've got a melted pot. All right. So that's if they lose. What happens if they win?
I think we still got people hitting the streets. And I think it's almost like when the home team wins a hockey game. I think they're gonna go crazy, and they're basically gonna be rolling around teabagging everyone. And
Who hits the streets if they win?
I think the left will begin to hit the streets for a
If they
congrat
win?
if they win. Now, hear me out. This is why I think this. I think the left will. Y'all know people that are more right and right of center, and or even extreme right, usually aren't the first ones to jump in and commit violence. We have been, I'm not saying like I'm on the right, because I don't even like to say I'm a conservative Republican. I'm a constitutionalist. That's what I believe in, right? And until Jesus is on the ticket, I don't think any political appointee is going to save us. But um, I think if the left wins, I think the right would not jump out right away to say basically it was stolen or whatever. I think they would need to be provoked. A way that they could be provoked so that the left and the administration can push their narrative further, it would be really easy to just have the left run out into the streets going crazy, celebrating, which would turn into riots, and the right would strap up and go out and I think finally put in some work. And I think that would
Mhm.
create such a dangerous situation where it's essentially the number one thing that has been killing people on this earth since the beginning of time, which is religion. People have been going to war for religion for eons, right? Well, now your political affiliation has become essentially your religion, right?
Mhm.
Like it is such identity politics, and people
Mhm.
gloss over that word like identity politics. But no, like that is so important to understand that you are more likely to know people's political leaning than you are their religion, right? Like people are pumping their political ideas prior to their belief of eternal salvation. All right. This
Right.
is what the programming of the United States has done to us. So I
Right.
think what will most likely happen is if the left wins, the left will either send out people, even if they're paid subverters, or real people going to
Mm.
celebrate in the streets. The celebrations in the streets turn into teabagging, like, we got you, bitch. And then the right's like, nope, you know, throw on the kit. We're going to schwack some hoes. I
Mm.
think it would get bad. And then they'd be able to, put martial law in effect. And then they'd be able to go out and start schwacking people on the right, because they're not going to start schwacking people on the left. I mean, who knows? Maybe they do, because they hate them probably more than they hate us, because they're just
Yeah.
useful idiots. They're cannon fodder. So
Yeah.
do they start putting us in camps and then, schwacking them? I don't know. But no matter what, the streets will be filled to some degree, even if it's just the major cities.
Mm.
That's what I think. You think that's a stretch, or what do you think?
I think what I've always thought, which is, the left, I tell you all the time, is narcissists, right?
Yeah.
They push, 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 provoke, 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 provoke. And then when you finally react, they say, see, we told you these people were violent.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Right.
That's
But the
their
thing,
that's their goal.
but I do believe this, and maybe I'm naive, okay, to this fact. But I do believe that the left has not, they don't seem particularly strategic to me. And I don't think that they've well thought this out, because there is no role play, military on their side or not, cops on their side or not, that they win that battle. They lose. If it comes to violence, they lose. Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not prepared to deal with that level of violence. I mean, these are the whole people, toxic Mexican, masculinity, and
Yeah.
the ideal man is Doug, right? I mean,
Soy lattes.
they're
Yeah.
not able to deal with what our type of Americans are able to bring.
But
Okay,
we are going to be going
It-
up against people with the same kit as us. We're going to be going up
no,
against
no.
people.
In certain aspects, yes, but you have to understand that, like that stuff that you're reading. I was in the military, buddy,
Mhm.
and yeah, maybe those senior officers who are in political positions will order that stuff. But I'm telling you, man, the people, well, and it's been a long time, but we're not going to fucking go hurt American citizens, man. We're not going to do that.
Most of them not. So I agree, most of them not, right? But if we're talking about a full scale, uncontrolled uh civil war, like the civilian populace going to war, um, I think we're likely going to be going up against those dudes that we started to see at the end of the Summer of Love. Those dudes that were in Black Bloc that ended up in full kit later on. Like
Mhm.
they Antifa was straight up strapped up in full kit. Uh, I think we're also going to be going up. I don't want to say we. I think those people on the right in the streets would be going up against law enforcement. And whether we're talking law enforcement or military, the ones that do stay, if it's full blown civil war, then all of a sudden most people aren't working, most people don't have a job, and most people
America does
can.
not have the appetite to do that. We've been too sheltered and spoiled for too long to deal with anything on that scale. So that's why I'm
I
saying
don't
they
know.
lose. They lose no matter what. They're not prepared for that, buddy.
I
They're
don't know
not.
if
Like
I
they
agree.
might listen. You might think that they are. They might think that they are. But as soon as it starts, it's not going to last very long before they cave and say, "Okay, we're willing to. Maybe we go our separate ways," which is fine. But a unit or two or three, you're talking countrywide, hundreds of millions of people here. It's just
I
you have
think.
to. Here's the difference. Here's the difference. We have purpose. We have meaning. The fight
Mhm.
means something to us. deeply with
Yeah.
the soul of our body, it doesn't
Mhm.
have the same resonation for them. You
Yeah.
understand what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, we have the will to see it through. They won't. They
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking if the two sides meet in the streets, that's the direction I think it would head in.
And we
Now,
don't want that. That is
of course
devastating.
not. No, no.
Devastating. But we also have to recognize that we're at a point. Honestly, this is just my view. I can't even believe they would give this woman one vote, but apparently it's close. Now, I don't care if
Yeah,
you believe the polling or not, and maybe we'll find out. But the fact that this is even close,
yeah.
it tells you we're not in the right direction at
But
all.
these people, they truly believe that this woman
Thank you,
is a
Rich.
beacon of, uh,
Oh my God.
smart, business and
My
this because
God.
they believe the
My
bullshit, right?
God.
And then they believe the other side is a genuine. I mean, the dude that was in your comments, he said, "You're supporting a racist, rapist, felon." He believed that shit. And this is a
Right.
dude building
Right.
guns. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Brainwashed. Yes.
dude, absolutely
Yeah.
brainwashed.
Yeah.
Because and look, it's not about Trump. It's not like we're like Trump. Like it's choose one of the two. One is literal evil communist Marxist cocksucking cunt, and the other one is a dude that you likely thrived for 4 years under. Which
Right.
one do you choose? Did he do bad shit? Yes. Did he fuck us up? Yes. Did he, cause all the issues that we're dealing with right now with the ETF? Yes. But guess what? I'll take that shit all day because he's not going to repeat that shit again. Tell you that shit right now, especially with everything that's gone in front of the Supreme Court,
Mhm.
all the issues he knows, bump stocks was overturned and all that stuff, right? So, but you know what? I'll take that fight when it comes to that or literally executing neighbors in the street so I can, share, emergency
Yeah.
food with my family. Yes, I'll take that all day. I'll take the bump
Yeah.
stock fight again all day.
Yeah.
Shout out to my bad. Shout out to Flying Rich, by the
Big
way.
Rich. Yeah.
$2 super chat. He
And
says,
congratulations to Mr. Rich.
yeah, congratulations. Over
18K, baby.
18,000 subs, man. Hell yeah. And also he says he wants to make babies with you. So
They'll be
there's that.
bald.
Yeah,
For
they will
sure.
be very bald.
For
They'll
sure.
be swimmers for sure. Your swimmers will be swimmers because they'll be very aerodynamic.
I know, right?
Um,
Red Dawn. Like,
Red
it's
Dawn.
fucking logic.
I hate Trump so much. I'll vote for someone who wants my guns. I've seen, dude. We saw.
It's nuts.
I've seen literal gun dudes going in chats, some of the most popular live streams you guys have seen, saying, "I will never vote for Trump because he's, racist, rapist, baby killer, whatever," right? Um, and you guys are tripping if you think that Kamala's going to take your guns. Like,
Yeah.
she said it. Oh, I have a Glock. No, you don't. No, you don't. And if
Dude,
you
they've
do,
literally put in an office of guns inside the White House.
yeah,
Like, they could, you can't get any more than that.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah,
Like, this is it. This is it.
yeah,
You really, this is it. The thing is that the election to me is just the day. It's really what happens the day after.
yeah.
It's really what, that middle section there.
It could be a few days after,
Maybe
like,
we're all wrong. Who knows? No, well, it's gonna be that time right up until inauguration, regardless of who it is.
yeah,
And I mean,
yeah,
listen, if whatever the hell happens, I mean, if she wins, I think you got to expect a real,
real dark times.
yeah, the dark ages begin
Yeah,
because that tells you that the Republicans will never win another election again. That
yeah,
we've gone full blown communism at that point.
yeah.
And
Can
yeah,
we take another 4 years of this? Like, can
whoa,
what do you
whoa,
guys think
whoa.
the world will look like at that point?
Well, no, we can't. But again, we're in a situation where the fact that this is even close and people don't see it, it's just so 1984, man. It
Yeah,
it really is. It's just so much there, and it is scary because we've all seen it for a long time. And you can go back to Yuri, where he's telling you,
yeah,
even in the face of everything, and you show them the facts, and it's right in front of them, they will never believe it until
Yeah.
the boot is on their face, stomping their brains out. You know, they're not
Yeah,
gonna
yep.
get it. You know,
And even then, you know,
they
they
don't get it.
yeah, and they bought the boot. You know what I mean? Like they paid
Correct.
for it, you know?
Correct. Correct.
And for any of you guys out there that don't know what he's talking about, he's referring to Yuri Bezmenov, who was a defector from Russia back in the 80s, I think, back in the 80s. And there's like a 46-minute video of him coming basically from Russia with intel saying, this is how you defeat the United States and essentially the world without firing one shot. And every single thing that he went through is literally exactly where we're at right now. Right now.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you can go to my YouTube channel. Can we play a YouTube video from here on my channel?
Ooh, now roll the scenario where the election doesn't happen.
Oh,
You want to do
yeah.
that real quick, and then we can play your video.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
want to go first, or what do you want to do?
The election doesn't happen. So 3 weeks from now. What happens though? What happens that stops it?
So you have to think. Well, you don't have to. The way I'm thinking of this is, what could occur so dramatically bad? That's dramatic and drastically put together. Yes, I know. Um, so bad that nearly everyone in the general public would say, of course, the election didn't happen. Blank was going on at that time, right? So I've thought about this, and what I've thought is this: 3 weeks left to go, right? Things are crazy, right? We've just become accustomed to crazy. Otherwise, we'd be freaking out about, if this
Yeah.
were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we would be totally beside ourselves. But we've been conditioned to accept crazy. Um, Imagine if something landed in the US or the world and it was a virus. Only this time, the virus is deadly.
Well, it's got 3 weeks to get here, so
Could be.
I think more likely it's a 9/11, you know, like, because if I think about the 2 times in my lifetime, so I'm 49 years old,
Mhm.
there was 2 times in my life that the world shut down, like,
Yeah.
literally, and that was on September 11th, 12th, 13th, right? Like,
Mhm.
there
Yep.
was nothing happening,
Yep.
right? All flights landed, no one going anywhere, life
Nothing was
stopped,
open, nothing.
life
Yeah.
stopped, life
Yep.
stopped.
Yep.
And then the second time was the pandemic and the lockdowns. So
Yep.
so I guess I would say I would go to what I know,
Mhm.
and it
Terrorist
would
attack.
probably either be something devastating like a virus. I just think it, you know, they'd have to get it here pretty quick.
Yeah, they'd be behind the curve,
You
right?
know?
But so
And then
yes.
the other thing is an attack.
But it also could be this too, to give another perspective. So, and I agree. I think it could be a um, a virus, but it's deadly, very fast acting, deadly virus. B, a mass tragic event, not this stuff where they're calling people, 4 to 12, 15 people, which is terrible, by the way, right? But
Yeah,
a mass tragic event, a massive act of terror, something
sure,
like you're saying, right?
sure.
Something like the Twin Towers, or something like sleeper cells that are all over the U.S. activating and doing small acts all over the U.S. Also, where the hell did the 3 tons of ammonium nitrate go? We still don't
Right,
know. We still don't
right,
know.
right,
So those could be in,
right.
250 rider trucks all over the country. So it could be something like that. Like, who knows? But it may not just be within the next 21 days this has to occur. This could be, depending on what happens after 21 days, from November 5th, 6th, 7th to January. That's when things start to get crazy. And then, well, of course, we didn't certify the election because X was going on at that time. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Just
Yeah.
just my thought. And I don't believe in.
But you also have, I think, something very interesting is going on right now between Biden and Kamala, right? Like they seem like understand that who would then be in charge? Like Biden's just not going to hand it over to her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there has to be a transfer of power,
Yeah.
there's some things there too. And from what I understand, their staffs aren't getting along. That's kind of like the latest reporting. I don't know. I think it's interesting.
Yeah. Flying Rich for the $2 super chat. Thank you. Does the competition get delayed if no election? No, we don't get a pass. We don't get a pass, James. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Absolutely. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. The election will happen. We're too close. But it's not just about the election. It's about the certification of the election. And from November 5th,
Yeah, it's the
6th, 7th
certification
to
that's the
January
big thing,
6th,
right?
you know.
It's after.
Yeah. Do I believe that a deadly virus with a 72-hour, half-life or whatever, that it could just drop today? All of a sudden, first person goes, second person get. Do I think
Well, I
21
shouldn't
days is
say
enough
that
time?
because who knows what they put in those vaxes, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they
It could,
could have some some
it
shit that
could
they
be ticking right now.
right. You never know,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. But and again, I don't know anything I
I'll
think
tell you
it's
what. Can I tell you what gave me hope? That made me an optimist a
sure.
little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Please. We need it.
Yeah, the fact that they switched out Biden.
hmm
And I understand that under all of that was terrible. Obviously they just instituted her. And again, if I was a Democrat, I'd be like, well, my vote really doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like truly doesn't matter. But the fact that they were concerned
hmm
that they made that switch tells me there are parts they still can't control that they're concerned about.
Yeah. I agree.
You know, that they haven't been able to fully take control of. Because I think sometimes, well, maybe I'm guilty of it, but I sit here and I'm like, they just have total control of everything in our fucking life. These Democrats are got the influence and the power everywhere. And it seems like anytime a Republican could do something, they get steamrolled and they shut up. But then I see this moment of weakness where they panic. And that's why I also say they're not strategic. Like they never thought this stuff out until it's too late and it's in front of them, and then they panic, right? That's the only thing that gave me kind of hope that they don't have it as locked down as I originally thought they did.
So I agree with what you're saying, and think of it from another perspective too, where they have it so locked down that they can literally be like, "This is your guy. This is your guy. This
True.
is your person.
Yeah,
4 years. This is
true.
your guy. This is
Yeah,
your guy."
true.
Actually, y'all might be right. Shh, this is your girl. This is your girl. This is your girl, and they're all like, "Oh,
Right,
Kamala, Kamala,"
right, right.
like it's
Right,
crazy that and
right.
it's both perspectives are right, like but yeah,
Yeah.
they are losing party members, they are losing steam, they are
Oh, for
losing,
sure.
and we
For
should
sure.
never fall asleep at the wheel ever at all ever.
No.
But no matter what, I hate the right and the left thing, right? Like it's just it's put people in this place of like I didn't even know this, that it wasn't until like 1996 that the parties actually had colors, right?
Yeah,
The red
yeah,
and,
yeah,
and blue,
yeah,
right? it
yeah,
it wasn't until like when did we
yeah,
start realizing all of this division and just sowing this like subversion and distrust, and it's not just like, oh well, I understand what you're saying but I have a different opinion. No, it's bad, wrong, racist,
yeah,
like what, like I just think
yeah.
differently. I think
Well,
that
but
we
think,
should.
but again, my friend, here's the hope that you have to have. As I said earlier, Kamala with the gun, Tim Walz with the gun. They're starting
Yeah.
to recognize that they cannot win without gun owners. And then the other thing, which is their big thing, is the race card. And now they're
Yeah, yeah,
realizing that they can't win
yeah.
playing the race game either.
Mhm.
Because not only did they turn off all white males, they also turned off all black males at the same time,
Yeah.
right? So, like,
Let me
they're
tell
not doing
y'all,
themselves any favor with the
one
hate.
time, one Thanksgiving, we had so many greens, I had to wash them in the bathtub. No, the fuck you didn't.
Right.
Pause. No one is washing greens in the bathtub.
Right.
Even as a white family, every now and then we'll do some collard greens with some fat back, you know. But like, no, you weren't. Stop lying.
Right.
And I love the there's this like little like meme video where it's like you know, show me two videos that have the same energy, right? And the one was her saying, y'all don't even know. One year at Thanksgiving, I had to wash all the greens in the bathtub, and then it went to the Tropic Thunder, where the dude
Right.
was like,
Right.
call up
Right.
some of these greens, you help.
Yeah.
It's some dessert, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
dude, it
right.
was like so perfect, man. It was
Right.
just like, oh, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, he killed it.
Do you see
And
the Trump new promo with Full Metal Jacket?
no,
Oh my God. You
dude,
gotta walk. You gotta,
hold
you
on.
gotta, no, pull it up. You gotta put this
I
on.
will. I'll pull it up. But did you see the Detroit, Kamala Detroit thing?
No. What's that
It
one?
literally starts like, "What's up, motherfuckers?" Like it's like, and then
No,
at the end, it's like paid for by Kamala. I was like, "What?"
no
It's like,
way.
dude, it's like if Donald
Oh
Trump,
God.
because there was one time where he basically said that if we go in the direction of Kamala Harris or you know this administration getting another 4 years, every major city will look like Detroit. And it was
Oh
basically
yeah,
like,
right,
are
right,
y'all
right,
gonna
right.
let that shit slide, Detroit? Like
Yeah,
they're like cursing in it. They take the Lord's name in vain in the
I know,
commercial.
I
It's
know.
like, God damn it. I was like, what? What? Y'all
Right.
just said that? Dude, it's crazy. All right, what do you want me to pull up?
The Trump Full Metal Jacket ad.
Is it on
I don't know.
ShoeTube
Probably be in
or
here. Let me see if I can find it. Well, you got to pull up my
YouTube?
video too.
All right, let's
Can
do
I share this? How do I share this?
Trump. Yeah. Trump Full Metal Jacket. Breaking news: Trump plays video on PA rally, jumbotron
Yes,
attacking
yes, yes,
LGBT.
yes, that.
See, that's going to be anti-Trump, though. Hold on, is it the? Oh, I have seen that the military then and the military now.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if this is. Okay, so this is actually recording of because I always want to be careful about which one I click on because one of them is like some BS reporter that's completely against it, so you know they're going to spin
Oh
it,
no, no,
you
no.
know. All right, so let's see.
Strengthen and modernize our military. We will build a missile defense shield, all made in the USA. And we will not have a woke military. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Yeah, like this.
You little scumbag! I
I'm
got
putting
your
on full
name.
screen.
I got your ass. You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride Month. And actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
So you're a killer, sir? Yes, sir. Let me see your war face, sir. You got a war face? Ah, that's a war face. Now let me see your war face. Ah, bullshit. You didn't convince me. Let me see your real war face. Ah!
I hear it and I know, I know you wanna take.
You will be a weapon.
So sad,
You will
dude.
be a minister of death, praying for war. But until that day, you are pukes. You are the lowest form of life on earth. You are not even human fucking beings. You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian shit.
How to
Abracadabra, these bitches know I got answers the way
It looks to me like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as the brown stain on the mattress. I love working for Uncle Sam. I love working for Uncle Sam. Let me know just who I am. Let me know just who I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps. 1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps.
Let me just say, the dude that is videotaping that is like running some serious equipment, bro. Let me tell you, to
right.
zoom like that.
Right.
Woo. All right. What else did you want me to pull up?
Oh, I sent you the link to my video.
Oh, where'd you send it?
I emailed it back to you. It's on my page. I just didn't want you to have to scroll through it.
All right, hold up.
What's funny is I did this a few years ago. So think about how true it is now.
Is it real?
Hold on.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah. You want me to run it?
Yeah, run it.
All right.
Is a real SHTF event going to happen? This is a question we ask over and over again in the preparedness community. We analyze different events. We look at chaos around the world. We try to put a timeline to if one of these events could happen. But here's the simple truth. If any SHTF event should occur or materialize, you want to be prepared ahead of time. The last thing you want is to be caught unprepared. So regardless of whether you believe an impending SHTF event is near or in the future, the time to be prepared is now. But what about time? Is there a timeline? And if there is, where in the timeline are we? I mean, surely we're not at the beginning of the timeline. So are we closer to the middle or are we near the end? Today, I'm going to share with you one man's story. And if you've been in the preparedness community for any length of time, you certainly know who Yuri is. A man who defected to the United States with one simple message. The U.S. is the last free place on earth, but you are being undermined. So many freedom-loving patriots who love freedom, who love liberty, are feeling more and more disenfranchised from society. A large component of that is facts and logic are being ignored. This is extremely frustrating to those who love liberty, freedom, and justice for all. Many of you in the preparedness world are already familiar with Yuri's work, although most of it has been scrubbed from the social media sites entirely.
Facts.
The other concerning thing is that we have an entire generation who have no idea about the impending doom that the stage of normalization brings. So today I'm going to share with you this clip from 1984, 40 years ago, and I'm going to ask you, did he get it right?
Ideological subversion
100%.
is the
Ideological subversion,
which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American mass media has to do, is to unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see it. There is no mystery. There is nothing to do with espionage. I know that espionage intelligence gathering looks more romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers. But in reality, the main emphasis of the KGB is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process, which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
And yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place and
Yes.
who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who would be marked for extermination in this country?
Most of them, yes. Simply because the psychological shock when they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice, obviously they will revolt. They will be very unhappy, frustrated people, and the Marxist-Leninist regime does not tolerate these people. They will join the links of dissenters, dissidents. Unlike in present United States, there will be no place for dissent in future Marxist-Leninist America. Here you can get popular like Daniel Ellsberg and filthy rich like Jane Fonda for being dissident, for criticizing your Pentagon. In future, these people will be simply squashed like cockroaches. Nobody is going to pay them nothing for their beautiful, noble ideas of equality. This they don't understand, and it will be greatest shock for them, of course. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years, actually it's overfulfilled, because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore.
100% JC9.
Demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes his balls, then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. So basically, America is stuck with demoralization, and unless, even if you start right now, here, this minute, you start educating new generation of Americans, it will still take you 15 to 20 years to turn the tide of ideological perception of reality back to normalcy and patriotism. The next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, it doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation. It's what matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world, that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis. You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely. Normalization is a cynical expression borrowed from Soviet propaganda, When the Soviet tanks moved into Czechoslovakia in 1968, Comrade Brezhnev said, now the situation in brotherly Czechoslovakia is normalized. This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis, to promise people all kind of goodies and the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition.
College tuition
and to
reimbursement.
put a big brother government in Washington, D.C. He will create false illusions that the situation is under control. Situation is not under control. Situation is disgustingly out of control. Most of the American politicians, media, and educational system trains another generation of people who think they are living at a peacetime. False. United States is in the state of war, undeclared total war against the basic principles and the foundations of this system.
Yeah.
And the initiator of this war is not Comrade Andropov, of course. It's the system. However ridiculous it may sound, the world communist system or the world communist conspiracy, whether I scare some people or not, I don't give a hoot. If you are not scared by now, nothing can scare you. But you don't have to be paranoid about it. What actually happens now, that unlike myself, you have literally several years to live on unless the United States wake up. The time bomb is ticking. With every second, the disaster is coming closer and closer. Unlike myself, you will have nowhere to defect to, unless you want to live in Antarctica with penguins. This is it. This is the last country of freedom and possibility.
Okay, so what do we do? What is your recommendation to the American people?
Well, the immediate thing that comes to my mind is, of course, there must be a very strong national effort to educate people in the spirit of real patriotism, number one. Number two, to explain them the real danger of socialist, communist, whatever, welfare state, big brother government. If people will fail to grasp the impending danger of that development, nothing ever can help United States. You may kiss goodbye to your freedom, including freedoms to homosexuals, to prison inmate. All this freedom will vanish, evaporate in 5 seconds, including your precious lives. The second thing, the moment at least part of United States population is convinced that the danger is real, they have to force their government. And I'm not talking about sending letters, signing petitions, and all this beautiful, noble activity. I'm talking about forcing the United States government to stop aiding communism.
With force.
So if you really listen to the 3 things he said there, right? There were 3 things he said, if you want to stop it, that you have to do. I think that's the key takeaway. There's 3 things. So you think about this guy 40 years ago saying this stuff, telling you what is happening. And then you look fast forward to today and it's like, holy shit.
Man,
right?
yeah.
But he said, that last question was the important. Well, what are the 3, what are the things we need to do? And he said 3 things. He said, number 1, you need to recognize patriotism. Right? You need to recognize patriotism. Number 2, you need to look for signs of socialism, free everything. Right? All the promises, and really, that's really what the Democrat is. They tell you about this utopia that we're all going to live.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll own nothing and be happy.
Yeah. Right. So you need a strong resurgence in the next generations of patriotism and what it means to be an American, which has been lost. Okay. So you need to do that in the next generation. You need to, put big signs out whenever you see socialist talk. You need to just quiet that down. And what was that last one he said? You need to use force to get it if you have to.
Yeah.
Right? Not write letters. You need to do whatever you need to do to get those 2 things done.
And I think free home down payment. I know, bro. I'm telling you, that's
everything. Yeah.
That was a big thing that they're running on. It's like, no, you guys don't understand how this works. If you give a grant to people up to $30,000 for the down payment on their home. That's not
Yeah.
fixing. This is an inventory problem and an inflation problem. You're not fixing anything. And then, yeah. So sorry, that's another conversation. But
And it's true, right? It's free everything. They want free
yep,
healthcare for everybody, free,
yep,
you know, free everything, right?
yep,
Like you said, student loans free, right? It's just a
yep,
nonstop money printing, machine of utopia,
yep,
really.
yep.
And
But really, who's it truly benefiting? The elites at the top. Those are the only people that truly benefit. Anyone else, that if all these people want to do is work and be happy, right? Live a good life. What they don't understand is that their version of that is supporting it, really walking down the hallway to their own death. They just don't realize it yet. And all the people in like, look at all of these other countries under Stalin and Mao and all of these terrible dictators that murdered, let's say Hitler too, right? That murdered all these people.
yeah,
There wasn't a huge, like a 50% split on people saying no, f that, we're not going to do that. You're going to have to literally like, I will expire before I allow this shit to continue. Here in the US, you have at least half of us, if not more, I think honestly it's probably more, especially by now, saying like, over my dead fucking body. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
so I don't know. I pray that we have the courage to move past this. But man, we're in an extremely dangerous place right now. And who would have thought that, like, they called it right? Like, and there are some people that are just that just nail it. And honestly, it could have been that somebody 40 years ago watched that and they were like, I got it. Right.
True.
And then they started following his shit,
Yeah.
to the T.
Yeah.
But the other thing, man, is Agarizer, brother. Great to see you. The other thing is, like, I think as we get closer to the election, um I lost my thought. I'm sorry. It's all good. But yeah, man, this is we're at a dangerous point, and it's pretty crazy.
We're at the point because they have 2 out of the 3 things they already need,
Yeah.
right? So they're already 66% the way there. They already
Mm.
have the universities under control to educate the minds. They've already did that.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they already have the media to push their propaganda. So
Yep.
they already have those 2.
And they have
The last thing they don't have is the constitutional protections, which is
yeah.
the third and final piece. But they're working on that, as we know. They want to stack the court with judges,
Yep.
right? You understand that the Constitution means nothing, friends,
Mhm.
if people in this country vote to give it up, because it starts with we the people. So if we the people in majority say we don't want that right, or we want to give up that right,
Yeah.
it gets allowed.
Yep. Yeah.
You know,
It's what
um,
we allow. It's what we choose to allow.
correct. That's where the force comes in, right? You have to,
Yeah.
and that's what he was
Yeah.
saying at the end. You have to, by force, stop that. Um,
Yeah.
so hey, thank you, Lightning Scott. Give Lightning Scott a big shout out. You got
Lightning
channel member.
McQueen, my guy. This is my man. Thank you. Welcome to the Blue Kim Lights, my guy.
Yeah.
It's funny. It says you joined the Blue Kim Lights on this one, but then it says became a new YouTube member. So welcome to the Kim Light Battalion. I appreciate you, brother, Lightning McQueen. And shout out to all you guys. I've seen some of you guys saying that that had ordered a knife or knives from Definition Knives. Thank you so much. I appreciate all y'all. And let me know in the comments, like, what are your thoughts? Like, do you like them? Do they feel good? Do they look good? Do they smell good? I know they smell good. But I've been putting drops of Aegis oil on them and kind of like cleaning the blade and like coating the crossbar lock and all that. And it just makes it, I mean, they're nice and oily, and it keeps them from getting yucky. But the smell of Aegis gun cleaning lubricant is just so incredible. It's so great. Tech Money, brother, great to see you. Tech Money member for 16 months. Appreciate you, my guy. All you guys. Bob Masavo, brother, great to see you. Chessboard, Joe Morris, MVE, love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. And Drewski, lifetime channel member. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man. This is a baptizing fire. Good to see you. All right, sorry, my bad. So yeah, I mean, we're at the point where they have as much control as they could possibly have, and I don't know. I think the only thing that's keeping us in this position is that little bit, that thing like deep in our minds that's like, I just want to be able to like have my place to go home, right? Have my little family and in my little world feel like I'm okay. And right now you can shop, you can live your life of consumerism and convenience. You can order your groceries, you can order your soy chai latte, you can do all those things. You can Amazon your shit to your house and you're probably fine because civilization is still working, right? But you're not seeing the signs that the people that are in charge literally hate you. Even
Mhm.
if you're doing their bidding, the people on the left don't realize that they hate you too.
Yep, they certainly do.
There's no like elites aren't like actually Democrats. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there's no okay, so for all these people that are like look at all these like huge Mark Zuckerberg, right? Mark Zuckerberg owns an assload of guns. He has an assload of security, and he's currently building a massive bunker. You going to tell me that he's an extreme left? Like no, doesn't work like that. I mean, your boy, Tesla, what's his name?
Elon?
Elon Musk. He used to be, more left, like slightly left of center, right? Like, and I think, in my opinion, once you live a certain type of life or own a business or start a family, it's really difficult to continue with like thinking from that perspective because you just start, doing real life things and you're like, oh, why am I paying those taxes? Oh, why is this happening? Oh, why is this happening? Like, well, this policy is bullshit. It just like automatically takes people to a place of, either center or right of center. And then you also have the thing where all the people around you have a particular political stance, and you couldn't dare ever, like all these people with all of their families all saying that they're voting for Kamala. Believe me, this is going to be the first time in a very long time where an obscene amount of people are going to lie about who they voted for. People are going to be coming back lying to their wives like, yeah, I voted for Kamala. Like, no, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. But they also can't speak up because it's not now that, you know, you have this opinion, I have this opinion. It's you have this opinion, and this opinion is racist, fascist, rapist, felon, like all that stuff that they call, not even just Trump, because now we got white papers of what militia violent extremists are, and if you like to exercise with your firearms, boom, stamp, you're a felon, right? You could get shot in the head in the middle of the night, and they'll murk your dog and run a train on you, just because you think a certain way.
The thought police.
Yeah, yep, that's how it is. So yeah, there's that.
It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, my friends.
It is,
Yeah.
and let's be real. So, what could people do right now to start to prepare? Get your water
Oh,
up.
you already got to be prepared. I mean,
Yeah.
if you had to start now, you're way behind. But I
You
mean,
are, but let's say you got 3 weeks and you got nothing but what's in your cupboards, your fridge and freezer. What would you start getting within just like basic stuff? I was kind of thinking of some things, but feel free to jump in.
well, yeah, I mean, water, food, shelter, right?
Mhm.
Air. These are the primary, drivers. I mean, at a minimum, you can just go get cases of water that'll last you until January 20th, because they're not going to expire. They'll be good.
Yeah, keep
Um,
them away from UV light, keep them
yeah,
away from the sun.
right. Yeah. Put them in the basement, a
Yeah,
cool, dry area.
and you
If
can
you have a
get
basement, I mean, I live in the Northeast, so we have basements. Some people don't.
yeah, I
But
live
I
in the
mean,
East. We got
look,
basements.
you run you don't. I don't know.
Can I hit actually one thing you said? I don't want to pass this really quickly. It's kind of important because you mentioned air, and that's exceptionally important.
Yes,
So when it comes to
it's
water,
my
food,
number
shelter,
one.
security,
It's
yeah,
my number one.
it's so you can go 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water. After a day, you're basically useless and can't even use your fingers. But let's just say 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, 3 minutes without air.
Hmm.
What kills you the quickest? Any type of airborne pathogen. And honestly, if it gets down to it, trust that they hate you and want you dead. So could they use something that would very quickly make the rest of your very short life a terrible experience while you're bleeding from your a-hole? They'll
Yeah.
use it. Whatever they got, they'll use it. So you need to make sure that you have a very high quality gas mask.
Hmm.
There are particular brands out there that are better than some, and get a gang of the CBRN filters. Because and what there's the radio
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
the
radioactive. So you
yeah.
have so air is important, but
Mhm.
again, you're at the point where we all breathe the same air. So there you're talking about an external attack on us, you know? I mean,
Well, it could be like a small like
it could
containment
be contained in an
anthrax.
area. Yeah, I see what
Yeah,
you're saying,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, look, it could be Ohio, right?
Yeah,
With your
yeah, I
train
mean,
spill, and they're not gonna come help you,
yeah, yeah.
right? So, yeah, you always need that.
And
Look,
you were a specialist, you were a
uh,
CBRN or no, what's the acronym for chemicals
so
and
NBC, nuclear biological chemical warfare.
yeah, that.
Yeah, I went to that training,
Yeah,
as well as survival training, Arctic certified cold weather survival training. I went to
nice.
that school as well. Spent
Did you
time in
do
Norway. I trained with the Norwegian army. You want to train in the cold weather, they're the best to train with. I
dang,
saw all of the caves that we have up there in Trondheim, that could take a direct hit and still survive with enormous amounts of these caves were in mountains, dug into mountains in Norway,
mm,
in Trondheim, that stored all brand new military gear as far as the eye can see.
wow,
The government did that with Norway. They were afraid during the Cold War that they would come down through Norway and attack. So, I mean, everything from, helicopters to trucks to food. I mean, like miles and miles and miles, these tunnel systems went full of
wow.
brand new US military gear.
That's
Um,
crazy, which all
yep,
y'all paid for, by the way.
yep.
James Kawasaki, brother, great to see you. And Ron Wayne is in the building. Great to see you as well. Ron Wayne, appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that I'm not being mean. I'm just saying that if you're preparing now for something that's going to happen in just a few weeks, it's kind of late.
You're
You should,
tripping. Yeah, yeah,
you should always do it. And then you also have to think of, you bankrupt yourself because you're not just buying gas masks for yourself, but everybody you love,
the whole family.
cook
Yeah,
food for
yeah,
everybody you love, water for everybody you love. Your
yeah.
best case scenario here is to have enough food and water on here,
Mm-hmm.
um,
It,
and
it's
then
it's
have enough ammo.
yeah. It is a
Like,
big undertaking. And if for anyone out there, first you got to have the if shit goes kinetic stuff. So let's say
yeah,
just that I would say at an absolute minimum, you need a rifle. I would say AR-15 that takes standard Stenag, AR mags 5.56. You need a sidearm. I would recommend
mhm,
one that's a Glock 9mm, one of the standard 2617 and 1917, right? Because it takes the standard mags. And I would say a way to carry ammunition, which could be a plate carrier with plates,
yeah,
or you could also just rock a chest rig or whatever. You definitely need a sling for your rifle and a holster for your handgun, something with retention, because good lord, that thing will pop right out like an old nylon Eagle Industries
yeah,
holster from the GWAT era. Um, and then as much ammunition that you can fit in your areas plural, without going completely broke, which by the way there's a lot of great deals on ammo right now, and that will not be that way forever even if shit doesn't pop off. So you need the gun stuff. You need to have your rifle sighted in. You need to know your holds. You need to be able to crack a silhouette at, 25, 50, 100, 200, 400, and be, a beast behind your rifle. And you need to be even better with your handgun. You need to be able to do draw from concealment, put a shot in the A zone in sub 1.25 seconds. And you need to do the same thing from your overt holster in under 1 second. You need to be able to do a bill drill from your rifle in sub 2 seconds and a bill drill from your handgun in sub 2 seconds. If you can hit those standards, then you're good. By the way, you only got 3 weeks to do it.
And here's your best case scenario is instead of doing all that, which takes time,
Run.
just like prepping takes time. Prepping is you start over a course of time and then you rotate out consumables. That's basically how that works, right? Efficiently. Realistically, your best thing to do, and if you haven't done this already, then you need to do it, is you need to work with a local network of community, because
you better have some skills.
Even the whole lone wolf, gray wolf, watch YouTube, walk on your own, do your own, you're gonna be fucking dead. You're gonna come across a group that's gonna take you out. I don't care how Billy Bad Bass you are. They're gonna have overwhelming firepower. You're not going out anywhere by yourself in this lone gray wolf mentality. That's fucking stupid, and it's a suicide mission.
If you don't have
whether it be a block, a neighborhood, whoever it is. Like, I'll be honest with you, that's been always the most difficult thing for me because I'm a severe introvert. So I don't really like a lot of friends. Like, I like my friends, but like that's it. And making new friends is not like my thing, right? So I gotta have badass guys, that I know who they are, where they are, we know where each other is, and we'd have to come together at that time and protect each other's families. Right. So that's your best bet.
Because
it's a shared resource and shared community.
If you don't have a team of 6 guys that would be considered like a fire team,
correct,
things are going to be extremely
a fire
difficult.
Team of 4 can do massive damage.
Oh yeah, big time,
Massive
dude.
damage.
Looking at like the what were the old bastards, the dudes that were in their 30s that went in World War II and just smashed. I mean, these 35 guys got like 4,700 and some odd kills, like crazy, like a crazy ratio. But that's like the piece of like the if shit were to get so bad that you needed to literally hit the street in full kit, which, let's be real, like in most cases, don't do that because you're just a target, right? Like, unless you're like
done. I mean, what are you gonna do? Walk out there with your wife and little kids and stop walking down the street? I mean, you're screwed. And if you got to move, and I'm a big proponent of this, is you should learn the railroad tracks in your area, because they all lead to places, important places, right?
Bike trails,
and they're off the beaten path. In other words, they're hidden from the highways, and they all connect to the major routes, right? And nobody's on them.
And remember that you can also walk the railroad tracks without being on the railroad tracks.
Correct.
You can walk parallel to them in the woods, and you can be, not silhouetting yourself for anyone that's 700 yards away with a 338 Lapua.
Right. And you can also cross over there at night and walk them at night, because they're very distinct as you walk. You can actually walk them at night and travel at night. You don't have to worry about, seeing in the dark or putting on a big fucking, light that says, "Here I am, shoot me," right? You just you can just walk along in the dead of the night, knowing you're on path in the right direction.
And that might be why we have night vision. Ron Wayne, member for 18 months, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. He said, I thumbed up the stream and I am proud. Thank you, brother. So that's that side. Now from this side, the I need to drink water to live, I need to eat food to live, and I need to have some other stuff. We'll hit some other stuff in a moment. The easiest thing to do, like MGB said, is get as many cases of water while they're $3 or $5 or whatever that you can, and then rotate through them and drink through them and replace them, provided that we can and that stuff is still available. You can also do things like get those big jerry cans from Walmart that carry like 3, 4, 5 gallons, and you can put water in there and then bleach treat it for long-term storage with a very, very, very small amount of bleach. You need to look up the ratio of how much bleach to use per how much water you have. Otherwise, you'll poison yourself and your family. But water is extremely important. And then food. Food doesn't necessarily have to be emergency food, but I would recommend that everyone get food that they can prep. Pay very close attention to the expiration dates of the food that you get when you're shopping. Get as much canned shit as you can without going too crazy. You can grab a bunch of water and a bunch of canned foods and a bunch of dried foods for not much more than your typical shopping bill or your typical grocery bill. And then also you can opt to get a bunch of emergency food and things like that if shit did get really bad, which you won't have to worry about pooping because that stuff sticks to your guts like a mofo. So you'll barely be dropping deuces while you're out there.
Always
schwacking
important to have
witness.
your own garden,
Yes,
no matter how big. Start a garden. That's
Yeah.
always important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we could do a whole survival thing. You want to come on? You come on my show. We'll do a whole survival podcast.
I would love
We'll,
that.
we'll re-bring that up Sunday night survival episodes.
Yeah. But
with
just get the basics.
with Spain. Yeah, I mean, right now you're pressed for time, so yeah. But I think everybody here pretty much should already have those very basic things. Hopefully,
I hope
But
so.
if you don't, get with a team because you have to understand being gun builders. We have a
Mhm.
unique skill set
Yeah.
that is going to be highly in demand.
Absolutely. Yeah. You
The
can build them.
ability.
You can fix them. You can
Yeah,
repair
weapons
them.
proficiency is very, very important, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can train others. I mean, there's tons of uses for that, right? You can modify them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's a great point. I appreciate that. And I appreciate all your insight on this. I know we've covered a bunch of different things tonight, but anything else you want
We really didn't even
to
talk about Vanderstock,
I mean,
which was supposed to
we
be
did a little, right?
yeah, a little bit at the beginning, yeah.
But we've kept like nearly 80 people in here. We got 72 people in here now. It's you guys, man. I appreciate you all so much, man. And MGB, I appreciate you, man. I cannot tell you how many frames I built listening to your voice on repeat over and over and over in the early
First
days.
time quality.
First time quality.
Have a policy of first time quality.
Why is my Glock so squeaky?
Hear my
Dude.
dad saying it.
Dude, it's
when I was a kid. I had somebody, I know we do very many streams a year. We've been up to like about 6 or 7 streams a year, you and I, right?
Yeah, I'd say something like
But
that.
somebody said something in one of the old streams that we did that really stuck out to me, and I think tonight really it kind of hit home what they were saying. They said that when you and I are on a stream, we're not asking questions. It's not an interview. We're just two dudes having a conversation, and that's what they liked.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people get out of it,
Yeah, it's true. Cause like usually when I have a guest on, I'll be like, so tell me about this. When this started, like what made you want to do that? Oh yeah. Wow. Interesting. Great.
Right.
Okay. Now what, and it's just, I mean, it's an interview, right? But whereas like when you and I get on, it's just like, yo, bro, this happened. I know this happened. Oh, did you see this? Yeah, I saw this. Did you see this? Yo,
it's like when we talk on the phone. It's just that we're doing it on
Yeah,
camera.
it's the same
shit.
If you guys imagine me and MGB on the phone talking about like this is exactly what happens, and then all of a sudden we go from like, take a look at Definition Knives and pick out one of your favorite knives from the bunch, and then we end up talking about like crazy conspiracies as people call them. We like to call them
the biggest drawback is the thing, but I guess that's some big news. MGB is moving out of the Northeast. We haven't told them that.
Yes, they don't. That's right. They don't know.
Right. Nobody knows that, but I
didn't know.
Florida.
I didn't know you were gonna drop that news, dude.
Oh yeah. That's in the works. Moving to Florida.
I'm so happy for you, bro. I'm so happy.
So, a lot going on here in my life, in my world. Big changes,
bro.
Big changes.
You gotta. I know I missed the opportunity to see you last Tuesday, and I'm sorry for that. I regret that. However, somehow, some way, between Rhode Island and Florida, you got to make your way through Virginia one more
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Maybe I'll give some some a little care package. If you
Yeah.
fly
I
through.
know we have a lot of friends in here in Florida, so it'd be great to kind of be down there. I'm kind of isolated up here too with like community. There's not a whole lot of our community up here.
Mhm.
You know, it's
Yeah.
all, you know, that
I
side.
heard there's one dude that's out your way, but he's a snitch. Sorry, let me stop. Sorry, let me stop.
In Rhode Island. Oh, I don't know who you're talking about. I missed it.
You know, I see what Tech Money said. So, some people have been sitting on blue titanium,
Uh-huh.
blue titanium, blue titanium, blue titanium, blue titanium.
Can I just tell you something
Hey,
that you're gonna
yes,
love,
of
and that for
course.
everybody else in here? You think they're worth money now? Wait, and they're out of business. They're out of business, my friends. Wait until this decision drops in our favor, and you can actually dump them.
Mm.
You're gonna be, and there's nowhere else to get them.
Dude, I'm sitting on cases.
Be worth tons of money. Do you? I don't even. I mean, I haven't heard anything from them, but unless they sell the molds, it's gonna be new people popping up. And I know there's a lot of money on the sidelines waiting to come in, waiting for this decision to come out with their own stuff, and it's gonna be fantastic for us as a community. But as far as like the Polymer 80 mold is concerned, unless they sell that mold, right? Unless they sell that mold, that's it.
For Tech Money out there. I don't know if you know this, Tech, but me and MGB were talking, like the different VIP levels of Freedom Crew University.
Yeah, we did.
And we were talking about the people out there that are like the OG builders. I was like, yo, we should call them black box builders.
We should,
You know
yes.
what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
yes, I got the black boxes too, bro.
Are you down with BBB? Yeah, you know me, right?
And if you're really about the black boxes, oh, I can't show that. Hold on.
Black boxes with the mill bit.
Woo!
There
Hey,
you go.
hey. What kind of black boxes you talking about, bro? What
Yeah.
kind of black boxes you talking about? I'm sorry. That seemed like I was flexing. I promise I wasn't trying to flex. I just
Little
it's
blue
cool.
titanium flex there.
Little blue titanium flex.
Yeah, little
And that's
blue.
just one of my rows. But it's different because I worked in the industry, so it's like, of course, you got
You say
them
that's
for
one of your
low.
hoes?
Yeah, one of my hoes. One of my rows. But I regret it, man. I mean, so many times there were so many like white frames, should have grabbed them, strike frames, should have grabbed them.
Yeah.
There's so many things out there that's like, oh, I just should have grabbed them when it would have been nothing, right? Like this strike, bro, this frame, bro, this thing is just incredible. And yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a little squeak. I know you don't like that squeak. Sorry.
You need some ballastol, man, on
I
that
know.
recoil spring.
I know.
Right?
Yeah,
Use some
man.
Ballastol.
And I need to re-up all my mother's polish as well.
Right before I came on, Steel City Arsenal messaged me.
Oh yeah.
We're
What
gonna
are they
be
talking
dropping
about?
these frames this week, they said.
Ooh, hold on, let me put you on full screen. Oh, shucks, I just muted you on
You
accident.
muted
Hold on.
me. But anyway, he's got a whole bunch of these frames that he's gonna drop. I didn't get to respond to him because we were coming here, but they look pretty cool.
Are those serialized or are those
I haven't even gotten down that road with them. I'm guessing maybe
Oh,
they
hold
are
on.
because the holes are already drilled.
Are those
So I'm
43s?
guessing they are, but it looks like he had a whole bunch of them done. So
Are
I'm
those
sure we'll be seeing that.
43s?
That's 19 and a 17 that he has
Oh,
here.
okay. Nice. Yeah, man, I just think with all the ones I have just chilling, I should start doing some like dope like Cerakoting and just coating them like just the crazy stuff I do. Like
Yeah.
I love Battle Worn, and I love yeah, that'd be cool to do something like that.
Do you
But
have a battle worn MGB slide?
I don't. I almost grabbed one, man, but I couldn't do it, man.
Amateur.
I know, I know. But
Amateur.
I so Steel City Arsenal does excellent work with their slides that I even have a bunch of the Steel City Arsenal machined P80 slides. Those are beautiful. But I think it was you. Yeah. So Steel City Arsenal was selling the black MGB slide and the battle worn MGB slide, and I almost bought it, and I hit you up and I was like, "Yo, do you think they'd be willing to like, do a discount for like, your boy?" And you're like, "Yeah, there's a discount. Here you go." And I was so close to pulling the trigger, but I ended up not getting it.
Oh,
But there's a reason though. Can I share that reason with you?
sure.
I have probably close to 10 Glocks worth of loose parts not doing anything, not being built, not but like I even have like just right in front of me sitting here doing nothing. I got a 19 slide sitting right here. Where did I just move? I just moved another 17 slide sitting here. I got a strike slide. I got a 43 slide, 43X slide over here. It's like I got all this stuff sitting here just doing nothing. And I got a bag of parts that's just like it's embarrassing when I'm going to pull it up.
That's called being a builder, though, man. What'd you have
I
to do with the
know.
Zafree barrel that I sent you? Did you put
Oh,
that
I
on
got
anything?
that. No, I got that on. So I put it on an OEM frame with a strike light slide with the ZP barrel
Oh,
because
nice.
I did that because I used the here the PR trigger.
Mm-hmm.
They encourage you to use the OEM frame
Right.
or a dagger frame, and that thing, bro. Me and Rich took it to the range when he stopped by here, and it was just like like the thing is running like a rainbow of brass falling
Yeah.
out of it, and I was burning through the barrel that you sent me,
Yeah,
bro. I
yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
that. Yeah, I have an MGB special barrel that he fitted, hand fitted. Just saying.
It's tough being old.
I know, I know. Hold on. What's he saying? In a blank garage sale page. Yeah, so I do I started changing the website and I started making some changes to the DLD hardware website, not the Definition Knives website, two different companies. So DLD hardware, I wanted to put a category for night vision stuff because I got a whole bunch of night vision stuff to sell. And I wanted to do a garage sale page, which actually should have a picture on it, but I guess it doesn't. It says DLD garage sale. And I have so much stuff that like I could be and should be posting for sale in there, which is like just stuff like I just showed you, like a right. When's the last time you saw a right to bear slide?
Been
You
a
know what I'm
while.
saying?
Been a
These
minute.
excellent
Been a
slides,
minute.
all OEM parts, and I even got the OEM 19X night sights in there. But anyway, so I will be updating that stuff soon. I just with the drop of Definition Knives, and you guys, thank you so much buying so many of the Definition Knives. It's been a challenge to keep up with everything. And after I finish up with MGB, guess what your boy's going to do? Your boy's going to package orders until I fall asleep.
That's what I'm
Probably.
gonna do too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what I'm gonna do too.
I know you were just running to the post office before
Before
the show.
I'm at the post office 3 times a day, morning, lunchtime, and nightly drop off before the distribution closes because freedom protectors need freedom the same day, baby.
Bro, you ain't lying. So tell
Yeah.
me this. What is the best way for people to support you right now?
Oh, the best way is to, if you're gonna buy parts, come through me, man. Buy them through a Marine Gun Builder. Obviously, not only do you get all OEM genuine products, but I armor service all of the parts. They come clean, ready to drop in. I assemble everything myself ahead of time, so it's already pre-checked. All you got to do is drop it in the frame, start going,
Nice.
baby. Right. So
Yeah,
that's the
it's
number
funny.
one thing you can do is go to marinegunbuilder.com and support that love. You
Yeah.
know,
You don't get the parts with a lot of that like machine funk on it. You know what I'm saying? Like when you typically order stuff, people think that it comes clean from the factory, but
no,
if
they're
you
disgustingly dirty when they come from Glock.
yep,
Look, I mean, I don't mind talking about how great of a business I have
yeah,
because I
yeah,
put a lot of effort into it.
for sure. Yeah.
But yes, you're buying genuine factory parts from me. They're armor service, so they're all cleaned and prepped, ready to go. They're assembled by me personally. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
every kit is assembled by me personally. They're shipped the same day
Yeah.
to you as well, right? So, I don't really. I've put a couple of companies out of business. I think just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the market has been dry. Obviously, this is
Mm-hmm.
the driest it's ever been, right? Because there's no
Yep.
frames, there's nobody building, there's nobody doing anything, right? So it's tough to survive. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that they just couldn't compete with the service that I provide.
Yeah.
And so they kind of went under. And I feel bad about that because I'm obviously somebody who wants lots of people in our space.
Yeah.
Um,
But there are some companies out there that deserve to be put out of business that are
yeah, don't
still.
ever buy from Granger Tactical. He's a snake. He's
Oh,
terrible. I mean, we
did
all
you
know that.
just say
Yeah, he's
Granger
terrible.
Tactical?
Yeah, never buy from him.
Granger.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, he's terrible. He's a
Granger
terrible,
is
terrible
a
person.
gigantic dirtbag. I will
Yes,
say this though,
gigantic.
before we learned about all this, my 19X frame, the Gen 5 19X frame,
Yeah.
bought it from Granger. My gray and chrome, that gray frame, bought that from Granger. My Battlefield green frame, bought it from Granger. And I didn't even know. I just looked back at my other gun broker like purchases recently because I was very specific with how I wanted to put those guns together, right? I wanted a bunch of Gen 5 45s, and for some reason I did that. I don't know, whatever. But I was like, Granger, that sounds so familiar. So I went back through and
Yeah,
every
total
single one.
dirtbag.
Yeah.
Total dirtbag.
Do you want to share what they did to you?
2 hours and 40 minutes? No.
Let's just say that
It's midnight. I gotta be up at 5.
he viciously went after him and
Yes.
in a very corrupt manner tried to drive him out of business, stole all of his ads, the way he wrote things, the pictures, the formats, to everything, and then reported him to eBay, all sorts of dirty stuff.
Yeah, all
He's a
sorts of good shit.
disgusting
They got
human being.
miles of documentation on it.
Yeah, but we can hit that another one. I
But
just want
anyway,
to say
yeah.
big dirtbag. They just need to know a little snippet of why dirtbag. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, it's
so
like anything else. If we don't support somebody,
yeah, there's a
they don't
reason.
belong here,
Yeah.
right?
You can go to definitionknives.com. Thank you, James Kawasaki. And anyone that's received their knives, put a comment in to say how dope and awesome they are and how great they smell. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up. MGB, brother, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on, man. It's always a
you.
blast. I have almost as much fun chilling with you on a live stream that I do when we talk
sir.
on the phone. So
And
thank
now
you.
you're gonna come on the channel. I'll have to make a time in the next couple of weeks. We'll have you come on and stop bringing people over, right?
Yes,
Bring
sir,
the people
man.
from the MGB channel on over, introduce them to DLD.
Yes, dude. I am excited. I'm
And we want
pumped
all
for
of you
that.
there for that as well to hype him up and be excited that he's
Yeah.
on, right?
Yeah, dude. I honestly, I'm more thrilled just that you're back, right? Just that you can go live, and
Yeah, I
even
know
if
that's
it's
big.
short-lived,
That's really
you know,
big.
it's a big deal. So thank you, and thank you for coming on. And everyone, please make sure that if you need any Glock parts at all, make sure your first stop is marinegunbuilder.com. And then, of course, you may need some instruction to follow that. And after that point, you would go to Freedom Crew
Crew
University, where I'm the head instructor.
The head instructor.
Like, why you gotta do that to me, bro? And your boy MGB is the chief instructor. So yeah, show
Vulcan,
some
we
love.
only have them for the instructors now, but I'll have them made for folks to buy them for the students as well.
You know
Very great
what?
question.
Let's talk
Very great
offline
question.
about that. I got an idea. It'll probably help. But I'll go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much, and thank you, MGB. You guys are incredible. We could not do this without the viewers and subscribers and channel members. A lot more to come. There's a lot more coming in the future. I have the whole video, the breakdown of the first 2,000 rounds out of the Shadow Systems XR920, and my breakdown of is it worth twice the price of a Glock. I also have my Anderson Frontline with the can, a new can on that AR, the 11.5-inch Anderson Frontline. That thing is, for the value, it's crazy. So I'm gonna be putting a G through that, putting 1,000 rounds through that. And yes, Freedom Crew University. Yep. Thank you, Sport Brand. Appreciate you. And lots of videos to come in the future, and lots of live shows and cool things that we're doing. So make sure you check it out. And I can say now that this stream was brought to you by Freedom Crew University and DefinitionKnives.com. So go show them some love. And and show MGB some love, man. We need to make sure we keep this this business going. We need to make sure that the building community, which is less than 3% of the entire industry, which is now probably way less than that, that we keep the gun building world alive. As we do,
there's only a few of us left.
Yep,
That's
very
it.
true.
Yep,
Yep, and
a handful that have made it
mhm.
this far. We still
And
got a ways to go, but have made it this far.
And sometimes it only takes a few to it only takes a mommy and a daddy to repopulate the earth,
True.
right?
True.
So I think we'll be good. We've been hurt, we've taken the blows, and but we'll be good. And lastly, guys, remember, we are in a culture war. We are involved in an active war, and it's so important for you guys out there. You need to take a stand for what is right and what is righteous, and not to bow down to the bullshit that's going on in our society right now. And the ways that you can do that is you can stand up and you can be a leader within your family, within your house. You can be a leader within your community, a leader within your church. It is like you have been charged with the responsibility of being a warrior of God. That is your job. And the more we all come together collectively and stand up, the less bullshit we're going to have to deal with. And some of the ways that we do that are by holding ourselves to higher standards and expectations. And some of the rules I like to share with you guys at the end of every show are: rule number 1 is to be kind. It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. That brief interaction that you have with somebody could have a massive impact on their life. So just be kind. Rule number 2 is to live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others. When you bless others, you become blessed, because a hand that's open to give is open to receive. And rule number 3, because we know the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men skilled in violence. Make sure that you're becoming as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be. And be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. MGB, brother, I appreciate you. I salute you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, brother.
All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Okay.
I'm almost too mad to do the show at this point. In fact, I just need to walk out of here. I can't do it. I can't do it.